Let's check if it's actually live on YouTube now as well.
Well, to be fair, the Wooting 15 minute is not over. Oh, now it's 15 minutes, so it should be working now.
It should be working now.
Rip.
Oh no.
What time is this meant to start? UK time? UK time in 45 minutes. No,
It's live!
Yeah, it's live!
Whoa!
Wow!
Wow.
It's just
Let's
super
go.
delayed.
Everything. First time, every time.
Okay. Now we're live on Twitch
YouTube
and we're live on
Twitch
YouTube.
live. Ten- So we have 1080p, 60 FPS,
Uh-huh.
YouTube and Twitch.
Yes, and good audio and good video quality
Okay,
should be.
nice.
And
Most
it's all-
professional stream yet.
Yeah.
With the emphasis on yet.
Let's see when it breaks down.
Way sharper. Good,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Right,
now-
perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
we
let's take a breath.
most of us have been on holidays this week, and some of others have to still do some holiday
Yeah.
stuff maybe over the weekend.
Yeah.
Or both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make a couple of things clear is that during the live stream we're not going to do any kind of technical answer, help desk support things, just to make that very clear. And this live stream is completely about end of the year, where we're going to first off review the whole year of Wooting this year, like things that have happened and how we experience things. And in between, we're going to have the end of the year quiz.
Yeah.
And that is the notorious quiz that we always remind you to make notes during the year.
Yes.
Because there'll be questions there to test your knowledge. Some questions might already be answered during the review of the review of the year.
Yeah.
Some questions might not, and
Yeah.
you just should have been following us more closely.
Yes. And pro tip is always like if during the stream you hear any kind of number or date, write it down. That's gonna be a question.
That's right. But
We're
we
only
might
saying
fake
this
it.
once. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, and then after the quiz, we're gonna finish up the year because we'll not be able to complete the whole year before the quiz. We want to do it halfway through.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a look at what's going to happen in 2023. Ooh, yeah. Well, who to the extent that we can't share every details of what we're planning to do in 2023, but we're going to give you a general impression of what the plans are for 2023.
Yes.
And we will also be saying farewell to a very long member of Wooting that is going to leave the Discord community, or not the Discord community. He's going to leave the moderators of the Discord community.
Yeah.
But we'll get there by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what will be fun to say is that so we'll review the year, and then we'll also kind of call in different people. So we've been trying to get like most people here, which is in the Netherlands, but then we'll kind of rotate our hosts the stream. So we'll do the introduction, and then later like either Kevin will jump in, will call in, or Simon will call in, or rotate the host a little bit. So yeah, expect a lot of fun and games.
Yes, you're going to see lots of Wooting people during the live stream. Yeah. And then if you're wondering why my arm is so awkward here, it's because it was dislocated a couple days ago, so I can't really lift my arm up, just this part. So that's answered as well.
Yeah, we kind of had like a Wooting holiday curse, I think, because I got really sick. A colleague got his arm dislocated. I think Tony got COVID. Rohan got COVID. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy time.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever it's like the break time, take a rest, and then everything that you've been delaying, here it is.
Yeah. For me, it literally started Thursday night.
Nice.
One day before the last day of work. Not even wearing the sling. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, this is now day.
You should wear you could wear the sling, and then you get more like empathy from people.
Oh right, yeah.
Like,
I should be. Yeah,
no.
I decide not to wear this sling because if I don't move it around here, like this is all working, and if I don't move it around a bit, it gets very stiff.
Yeah.
And now I still have some mobility. I'm just very careful with not moving this area.
Yeah. Aggressive switch lubing will do that to your arm.
Lining.
Okay.
Lining.
All right. So I think everybody's in now. We're live and alive, and let's jump into the year review.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah. Kicking it off straight away.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
guess
I mean,
so,
why
right?
not?
Yeah.
I mean, we have.
Well,
we have
I still want to hear like everybody that's watching. How many people got their keyboard for Christmas? or right before Christmas or right after Christmas that are
That's a
in the
good
chat
one.
right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Because we really tried to ship as much as we could, and now even more keywords came in, and we're releasing more shipments this week
Combined
as well.
before, yeah, that's good.
Nice. I think we even have nice
Mine before
Christmas.
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 Whoa,
next
so many!
week.
Holy
nice.
shit!
Yeah, and we're even we received some of the shipments, keyword shipments earlier. Because it was on schedule, no special delays.
Yeah.
So some of the people that had a estimate for January
A few days before
are
Christmas.
being shipped right now as well. So
Yeah.
and then there's some people that got a little bit unlucky with shipping itself.
Yeah,
And
that
support
always
is not really
happens,
live.
yeah.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Are we ready?
Ordered on Christmas. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready?
All right.
Chip.
Oh, okay, we changed. Hey,
Oh, hey!
it's Kevin.
On this side. He's on the left.
Hey.
Oh, that's loud.
Let me put it a bit down.
You put a little bit lower.
Hey.
Lower my microphone. Hello.
It's not your
Hello.
microphone. It's our. So
Yeah.
we have like a little
Oh.
studio speaker here to make sure we can hear you as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Rip
Alright.
headphone user. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I
Okay,
hope.
let's do a little audio test. Kevin, can you say something?
Hello. Hey, Kevin.
Okay, for us it's good, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I think so. I don't know if there's kind of like
Yeah.
still louder. Just whisper.
Yeah, but I mean that's louder for them, not for us, right? Like it's we can't do it.
Oh no! Wait.
No, it's also picking up.
Well, that's actually,
Yeah, the desktop audio is too
Kevin
loud,
does
probably.
actually pick up, yeah.
No, but can you say something, Kevin? But whisper.
Hello. Hey.
Yeah, that's way too loud on desktop audio compared to
Oh, yeah,
us.
I can make
Yeah.
it lower.
Okay.
I'm using my normal volume here.
Yeah, you shouldn't adjust the volume because we have different people as well. So
Yeah.
Something like this.
Okay.
Is that better?
You guys talk?
A little
Okay,
bit.
we should
Yeah.
just talk.
I
Yeah,
think
we're
this
gonna
should be
talk.
fine.
Yeah.
This should be good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now it's good. Let's just check if we get echo, if we talk at the same time as well. That headset though, yeah. I mean, Kevin always looks sharp. That's why he's the
Yeah.
designer. So that's.
Sharp.
And you can see the is that celebration sling there in the back?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Nice,
That's
nice.
Stickers. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm at my friend's place, so yeah.
Oh, are we now showing
No,
Simon?
no, this is him just setting up the new one.
Ah, okay.
We should just
Yeah,
ignore
just
that.
go back.
And
I'm
then-
gonna ignore the technical part.
Yeah.
I'm watching this part too much. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's get
Okay,
started.
let's go into the topics. So,
Yes.
so we'll just kind of go through the year month. We'll just kind of go through the year month to month. So we'll just start at January 2022, and then we'll just kind of review what happened and kind of try to get Kevin's input. I think especially more from like the design side, but also Kevin is also always very involved in communication with the factory. He's like our de facto communication point. So anything that has to do with arranging the manufacturing or choosing different parts or dealing with like issues that happen at the factory here and there, that's all Kevin. So that's what we mostly want his input on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it will be a little trip down memory lane.
Yeah. I'm trying to recall everything.
I mean,
that
it's right
happened.
there. So
Yeah, I
you don't
know.
have to
It's,
recall
there's
everything.
there's notes
Yeah.
there, but I think there's like a prelude for this is that this is where 6HE just like kicked off. Is it? No, it was already launched before this.
It was launched, yeah.
Yeah.
So the launch was October last year.
Right. So
Yeah.
October last year we launched the 6HE campaign.
Yeah.
And then we were amidst making the molds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we were
it-
amidst-
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, right. And there it says already we received our DVD sample in the beginning of this year. So we were pretty in an advanced stage of the 6HE, and then we received our DVD sample in the beginning of the year. And this beginning of the year is always really tough because there's very few things you can do because of Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
And that was also part of the reason why it took compared to where we were, where it took a little longer to deliver than we would ideally would want to. But we had our DVD sample. I remember the DVD sample being good, but not being super satisfied with the sound yet.
yeah, for sure.
And that a big part of it was the stabilizers. I also remember.
Yeah.
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 Oh, it says
We
it here
test
too.
a
Okay,
lot
see,
of
oh,
loops.
Sorry.
we test a lot of steps, stabilizers,
Yeah.
and the loops. I mean,
Mm.
January and February is the time we are so involved into looping the
Yeah.
stabilizer as a factory grade. Yeah.
I think that's when the real stabilizer research started. Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
what is the difference?
Yeah.
What makes a screw-in stabilizer better than a click-in stabilizer?
Yeah.
We know it's better, but why is it so? Why would that rattle less than the other,
Yeah.
right? And then when it came to lubrication, where would you need to lubricate to get the most effective result? Like, what makes the difference, right?
Yeah.
That's when we really got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
we went really deep down the rabbit
Yeah.
hole. Stabilizers. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's also when we had to make a decision that we would drop the original stabilizers, which were white, and then switch to Gatron stabilizers, which were black.
Yeah.
Which kind of was too bad for the design, but the Gatron stabilizers, there were just a couple of things like the tolerances
Yeah.
and the way it was designed.
The
that
way
just,
it was constructed was also
Yeah.
much more solid. Yeah.
that just made it better.
Yeah.
And that was a really big switch that we made in the stabilizers.
Yeah.
And then the second part was about lubricating the stabilizers. So the amount of lube that was used on the stabilizer on stock
Yeah.
was just not enough. And we invented a new, well, I don't want to say invented, but we kind of like,
Let's just say invented.
okay, we invented a new way to
Implement.
apply the lube.
Implement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. We implemented a new way to apply the loop to the stabilizer. So
Yeah.
usually you have the stabilizer wire that goes through a lubing machine, basically. Like it goes into like a lube bath, shoop, shoop, and that's all they lube. But what we did is it goes to the lube bath for an X amount of seconds, which increases or decreases the lube. And then after the keyboard's assembled, they get a syringe with lube inside, and then with air pressure, it like pushes out a
Yeah.
certain amount,
Yeah.
and then it into the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember we really had to push the factory to kind of like to push an uncomfortable amount of lube in there, where they were feeling,
Yeah.
you want this much, and like yeah, we really want this much.
It was even more like they were like, okay, this is like the maximum we can do. Right?
Yeah, oh
And they were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we want double.
Yeah. I remember they were also like, yeah, do you want like 0.1 gram or 0.15?
grams, yeah.
And we could only go up to like 0.12 or something like that, and then they were like,
They would go
no, we
higher.
just want a
Yeah.
big blob. Big blob is good.
I remember they said if they would go higher, the problem is not that the machine wouldn't be able to do it, but the machine would have to stop more frequently because the lube would clog up everything.
Oh,
And that would make it not possible to go higher than that.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's why we got the syringe.
Right. So what do you remember from the loop saga, Kevin?
We test a lot of loops. I think we try at least 3 different sets of stabilizers, 1 or 2 from the manufacturer, and at least 1 for Gatron.
Yeah.
We kind of like locked down with Gatron. But at the same time, I think, and after that, we just keep going back and forth with the looping, like timing, like the gram, like how many
Yeah.
gram, just like how you mentioned. And we actually like make a photo sample. Like I think it's colder. Like loop a lot, like a bulb of loops on the stabilizer. We take pictures, send back to the factory, say, hey, this is our standard. Please add this assembly line or the workers to follow this standard as the picture. And yeah. I think at the end we kind of like just knock down or lock down with the picture, just followed by the picture we ask for the supplier to follow with. Yeah, I think that is the kind of like the end. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually, I also even remember to verify everything. In the end, I got 3 switch plates, each of them installed with a different amount of lube and method.
Yeah, and they send out from their factory, I think, directly
Yes.
to you.
Yeah.
And it's wrapping with like a bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And that really
Very cool. Like
yeah. And ends up to being a very, very good decision, because that's also one of the reasons why when you receive the keyboard in stock, it already sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
One of.
Yeah, I remember feeling like that was really worth it to like spend so much time on. Like it sounds super specific, right? Like, oh, there's loop for stabilizers.
Yeah.
But then now that we actually have it running, like we're really happy with the stock sound, and also like when people first receive the keyboard, that's also the first thing they kind of notice. Because like I think like if you haven't like lubed your own stabilizer before, like the difference it makes is just insane.
Yeah, it makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Lubrication in general makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
And that's also like recently we're looking into our switch lubrication, because we've had a lot of back and forth on the switch lubrication between factory and the switch supplier and us about how much should be lubed and where. And our general, the problem is if you lube too much, the lube gets everywhere, all over the switches, all over the plate, and it gets a big mess. If you lube too little, it doesn't feel and sound as nice anymore. And I think for the beginning we found an okay balance, but it can be a bit better, and that's something we're still looking into to improve, so that in stock it would be a bit better lubed. Yeah. But it's like lubing is such a big, long
It's a big
story.
topic,
It's a big.
And it's also I think what's also kind of it's no exact science, right? Like it's really like what kind of sounds better or feels better.
It's very it's also very much a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because if you lube too much, the switch becomes much more muted.
Yeah.
And it becomes increasingly let's say mushy. But you like it or you don't like it. I like it a lot. And I also don't like, over time it kind of like balances out, which is fine with me. But I really enjoyed it when it was like really a wet feeling.
Yeah.
I should have.
Talking about wet, we at the start of the year we also did some improvements to the Wooting 2HE, and we added water-resistant coating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was another one we added.
Yeah. And we started doing that for the 60HE, and I think we kind of realized that it wasn't that expensive to add, and it really adds to the lifetime of the keyboard.
Yeah. People should take notes.
Huh?
People should take notes.
Oh, people should take note about what? About
Wooting.
I don't know, yeah.
About the Wooting 2HE improvement that we added water-resistant coating.
Maybe.
But that coating is kind of has good and bad sides, because we've already the coating. The big advantage for you is that the keyboard will last much longer. It should last like a really long time if done well. But then the disadvantage is that if you want to repair something on the electronic board, it's going to be nearly impossible because the coating is also heat resistant, so you can't like solder off anything, and it protects the
you
PCB
really need to
too well.
scratch it off.
Yeah.
But you know what a huge advantage for me is with the water-resistant coating?
Well,
is that before I would kind of get like keyboards back, and they would sometimes like randomly break for people after a few years of use. And then I would open up the keyboard, and then they would have like spilled like milk or something or soda on it, and then the components would literally be rotten.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would be so bad, and I never have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, true.
So that's actually a big advantage.
And that is worth it. But this is not I haven't mentioned this before, but actually the water coating also caused the whole production to take much longer, because every PCBA has to go to a separate supplier. Yeah, and if that supplier has like a Chinese New Year holiday, it's kind of an issue that we're having.
Yeah.
Nothing can proceed. It's stuck.
The
whole pipeline, and it doesn't go very, very fast. Yeah. Okay, there's more things that happen in that. From January to April.
I think like what is actually a very big topic from this one was, I think all of us really enjoyed, was the wootup. And we didn't do a wootup in person, but we did another digital one. And I think what was really cool about this one is that it was very community organized as well. And a lot of people from the Discord community came together, and they built this whole Minecraft server specifically for the wootup, with like where we have like different games, and they had this whole server where everybody could jump in and we could play different games.
We had the parkour to start with, right?
Yeah, we had the parkour and some sort of bombing game and some sort of island.
It was such
survival.
a drama with the bow and arrow thing and and stuff. Yeah.
So as always, there were some technical difficulties here and there, but I think overall it was a very fun day.
And wootup is going to continue also next year. Every year there's going to be a wootup. Yeah. But we'll be looking if we can do like probably a physical plus digital combined wootup. Yeah. So it's not like only digital.
Baxton, please don't remind me of the wootup.
It was in January to April also the first unveiling of the Wooting desk mat prototype. I don't.
I don't think it's.
I don't think so. No. That happened actually a while back where I showed them like on a live stream a whole while back, and those still are around here in the room somewhere, but then it's downstairs I think. And we're still actually very slowly still doing something with it, but it's just
that's a topic for another time.
different topic.
Yeah. And project product vlog.
What?
Product vlog.
You-
Oh,
you-
right.
But doesn't matter.
Yeah. Erik is saying we even made a production vlog of the Wooting pad, showing you how the production process is done, what the production process is. But that, we never.
COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID, and or it was actually in the beginning of COVID-ish. But then we never put that live either because we never started selling the product. It's just still not up to what we want it to be. So it's kind of a black hole. Okay.
So
also, 5-sided dye sublimated keycaps
for samples.
I guess so.
I mean, that's also kind of a big, big current topic. I think we'll probably get back to it another time. I just want to focus a bit on some remainders of because I think like when it comes to the manufacturing side, it was a very big time, especially like the 68C was in full development then. And but then there was also still like, now it's kind of hard to imagine, but then COVID was still very, very active.
All right.
And it even delayed the PVT. And I don't know what the original planned date was, but then by then we actually had a date scheduled for the 68C, which the PVT was the 31st of March, and the first planned mass production was the 8th of April.
Watch out with the table. Like,
oh, you can
the
see
microphone is picking it up. Yeah.
Okay, but then what was really tough about that particular time is the IC shortage.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember with the. I with the PVT getting delayed with COVID, it's really weird that was that the beginning of this year, and now funny enough, COVID is a really big thing in China now again, and already having different suppliers, which are saying basically, it was then in lockdown or people are just now it's like people are struck by COVID. There's not enough workers, and the Chinese New Year's around the corner. And that means that all these like operators, everybody at these like factory areas go back to their hometown, and it's going to be a COVID super spreader.
Yeah.
So it's really the question, what's going to happen during this period. But we have been making sure, and I got insurances, like final insurances today as well, that our production's planned for, this January will be fine, and then we have a production plan in February, which are selling right now.
Yeah.
And we were assured that this is still going to continue and that we got a priority on these productions. So even if they're running on like a low amount of people, that we're going to go through first as planned. So, but that's going to be very dangerous as well.
Yeah.
And then with the IC shortage, it was not just some shortage. It was also that one of the most important parts was the MCU, which is not available anymore and not available for at least a year. And that I think that triggered the whole ARM development. In a good way and in a bad way.
Yeah. But I think with the ARM development, you also want to have Simon involved as well, right?
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. We'll jump in that one.
But then there's one last thing that I saw on this list, and I just want to highlight how really fucking annoying that was. Is that we had the mass production plans for the 68G, and then there was like one component that we missed. Like this sort of like, there's always so we actually for the mass production we pre-purchased, because there has already been an IC shortage for like a few months or even years at that point. So we already started preemptively purchasing all components that we thought were like a big risk. Yeah. And there was like one tiny little fucking component that we missed, and then right before the mass production, like all of a sudden like it sold out everywhere. There was some crap, and that was the volt regulator.
Yeah. And there's actually a funny note to this as well, because the volt regulator was completely sold out everywhere. Yeah. We didn't expect it because it's a very common part.
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
And then we were like scrambling to find an alternative on the market, which eventually we did. Yeah. But it was a different brand with the same specifications, but we still had to go through like the whole like testing everything cycle, which takes a little while. Yeah. And thankfully that worked out, and then we were able to continue production. But funnily enough, later down this year, we went to an electronics show, and we're like, we have to solve this like volt regulator danger and find alternatives. And then we found out that actually we can get the same volt regulator, but it has a slightly different specification in how it's tested. So for what environments it might be okay.
Oh yeah.
And it just has like a one extra letter or letter difference. But everything else is still the same, and that one was just fine in stock. And you can kind of interchange these.
Yeah.
So that was something new we learned. How the same IC part can be available in many variables, which the only difference is just like for what environments they were tested.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it also has to do with how when they make CPUs, they have like different wafers with like different quality, and they kind of rate them a little bit different. And I think it's the same for these kind of components, where they're just like, oh, this is a particularly good batch, so they're more resistant up to a higher temperature, and they just add a K or an N or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, it's really hard to, it's really easy to miss, because you have all these different model versions maybe in data sheet, but it doesn't really clarify what it's doing there, and you don't easily find it online as suggested alternatives or something. Really that was interesting.
Yeah.
I see that I'm going to.
How did was this a big headache also for Kevin arranging stuff?
Was this a big headache for Kevin arranging stuff? Kevin, was this a big headache for you at the time?
The volt regulator thing.
Yeah, or just like preparing for the 60T mass production.
Yeah, it's a big headache, like for the 60.
So what was the most annoying thing about it?
Do you remember the analog testing machine?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that is the huge one, from the spec from factory.
Yeah.
So we have,
can you introduce the analog testing machine for those who haven't been following us for years?
Sure. So because we are making an analog keyboard and using Laker switch, so I think
Kevin is frozen, by the way.
Machine. Am I frozen? I can hear my voice.
Yeah, we can hear your voice. Just keep talking. We'll fix the video.
Cool. So there's a testing machine. It basically has a lot of pins. Depends. So every pin.
Oops.
Oh.
Like every switch.
I moet echt zelf reconnecten, denk ik.
Okay, Kevin, I think you might need to reconnect to the tab with the collab cam.
Okay, cool.
All right. We'll just wait.
Wait
for his
later.
spot.
Kevin is
Later.
speaking to us with his mind. That's what the Logis TV says.
Yeah.
But that one's cancelled.
We're losing Kevin. Okay, let me just continue with the talk. Oh,
Yay! Moving Kevin.
Hey.
It's a story time.
Yeah, story time.
So we have the analog machine. It basically is at the end, like the end phase of the assembly line. We need to make sure every keyboard we produce during the assembly, it's perfectly working product. So we have like a last step to test each keyboard with there's a lot of pins, and there's a lever and the label like plate. So when you press a buttons, every pins will come down to press every key on the keyboard. And it's I think at the end at the beginning we said like there's a 10 step, so it moves with a certain millimeter with a certain step. But I think this is too annoying. It took too much time, so we just change into like we pre-press it, and then we press all the way to the down, like to trigger the 4mm button out. But with this machine, and it's not super precise, like they need to tune. And because we used this machine before for the 2HE, and then we back to use 60, so it actually has like a 110 pins for a full-size keyboard. And
because you basically need to align every single pin with every single key. So that's a lot of work.
And it's all made down by the labor. It cannot be auto machine.
Yeah.
So it's already create a lot of time, like cost on the assembly line, and also every time it press down, it cannot go directly or precisely into 4mm travel distance. So it will always a bit over pressed. and it kills
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of our margin
Yeah.
on how we detect the magnet movement. And we
Yeah.
got a lot of headaches from the factory, and they are kind of like filing a lot like red tickets to tell them we need to change or we need to swap different like um, tolerance value in the algorithm we design or Ewing and
Yeah.
Simon design. Yeah, so we actually like get a lot of like these back and forth tuning these tolerance range. Yeah, wasting a lot of times. But yeah, we come up with a very neat idea recently, or I think it's at least 3 months, right? But it's been very recent. So we
Yeah.
just change a lot of these SOP, and
Yeah.
we just replace these analog testing machine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and everything works super smooth. Thanks God.
Yeah. Yeah. So we basically, yeah. So for a while we have been kind of like abusing this analog machine to just basically do a test at the start of the press and at the end of the press. But then to just kind of do this machine is kind of like this. What is the word? Like pneumatic
I guess so.
machine.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
like it's kind of like a pressure.
Hydraulics, you mean? Maybe?
Hydraulics. Yeah. And it really like pushes it down really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you try to simulate a press, but it's not like actual user goes like, "Ah," like until like your fingers start to turn red, like that
Right.
kind of idea.
You mean with the new way now, or the
No, with the old way.
Oh, okay,
And
the
that's
old
also-
way was even more. It went like 0.1 millimeter step. Not with the lacquer switch anymore because they didn't need to do that necessarily anymore.
Yeah.
But then that's how it was designed, though.
That's
Like-
that's how it was
Yeah.
designed. But then at the end, how we were using it was just like it just pushes
Pressing
all
it
the
down.
keys. Yeah. But I think that's it for the first quarter of the year then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And we move on to the next topic. So we just want to thank Evan for joining in. I'm not sure if he'll still join in later. Oh, transition! Whoa, it's Simon!
Transition.
Kevin has this next part as well.
Oh, Kevin is the next part as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
whoa.
I'm going to exit because I'm not part of
Nice.
this one.
Ah,
All right. Okay.
Always.
Okay, bye.
I'm gonna relax my arm.
bye.
I got there.
Bye.
What about the train incident? I don't know when the train. I think the train incident happened at
Oh,
the
that's
time.
right.
Yeah. Crazy production value. You could just walk that way. Out of camera, Colin is kind of like crawling under all the gear, even though there's just a path on the side. But- Okay. Whoa, production value.
I disappeared from underneath.
Send and center?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, I was just afraid the microphone might be too.
Well, that's sick.
Transition. Okay, so Simon is here. Simon, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, this seems pretty good. All right, what about everybody in
I can
stream?
tell there's a massive delay, but it's fine.
Okay, that's good. I mean, as long as there's not a delay on the stream. But I think I
Yeah.
just want before we jump into the next topic, I think what also happened at the start of the year is that Calder actually lost one of the critical sample products, or is that that's not a part of the topics, is it, Erik? No. And he actually lost.
Secret topic.
June.
Happened in June.
Yeah, end of May. Because we were celebrating the launch and successful mass production.
Oh yeah. So he spent like hours lubing all the switches on his keyboard, and then he put it in like one of the only travel case samples that we had, and then he forgot about it in the train. So someone out there, because we never found it again. So someone out there has like the first prototype 6HC fully lubed in a travel case. Oh, and it even had the take control keycaps as well. One of the first samples. So it's like,
Things as well.
yeah, I think so.
It had everything. It
but
was
then-
fully modded.
Yeah, fully modded, and fully decked out. And we checked the train, lost and found. We called them a few times, everything, but no bananas. Yeah.
Someone found that and was like, "This is mine." Now.
Yeah, but I feel like also like whoever finds it must be quite confused, right? Like, why is this such a nice keyboard? Because I think like most like normal people, they're like not too aware of like mechanical keyboards and everything.
Yeah, or like why people would frown with keyboards.
Yeah. Huh?
I mean, here's me going through like airport security with free keyboards in my bag and having to just like avoid all the weird links. So like, why have a free keyboard?
Yeah. Yeah, that's also when I travel and I have like tools with me as well, and it's like, yeah, just engineer. I don't know, no bomb, I promise. Well, but then going into
okay, this doesn't work.
Simon is Simon is extremely quiet in the stream.
Yeah.
Huh?
So we are screwing things on the back end. It's fixed now.
Okay, it's
Down
fixed.
center.
People experience the echo, so that's why we just screw around with things.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
now it's good.
screwing it around while it's live. That's a great idea.
That's the best idea, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always how you test things, right, Simon? Just test in production.
Yeah, test in production.
Yeah.
Never any problems with that.
But then I think the key thing that that happened in the next quarter that we are talking about now is the whole switch from AVR to ARM. And at this point, we kind of figured out that part of the IC shortage as well is that we also couldn't get the microcontroller, which is basically the brains of the keyboard, that we couldn't get it at all anymore. And we...
Well, I mean, we could get it if we wanted to pay like $100 per piece.
Oh, yeah. There's like these insane resellers and they just ask like these crazy prices for it. But then obviously we couldn't do that.
Yeah, obviously that's not going to work.
Yeah. And so we had to make like a very quick switch, and I think we had enough secured for the first 6AC production, but then we didn't have for like the second and all the ones after. And what we did at the time is we really had to make that switch. So we offered people a choice, where it's like if you already had people at the time, if they already have a pre-order, they could choose to either be part of the first batch with the AVR, or wait a little bit and be part of this, or be like the first in the second batch with the ARM keyboard, with the ARM MCU. Something like that, right? Yes. Oh, but then
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about that one is that Calder, he actually we made a video about this, and I think it was titled something like "We Have a Proposal." And I remember at the time we were very stressed about this particular switch, because like it was a big deal and still a lot of uncertainty, because also switching to a new architecture also comes with a lot of software development as well. And so we also thought a lot about how should we approach something like this, right? And we ended up, okay, we're just going to make this proposal that people can choose to wait for their ARM keyboard or not. And Calder made this video to introduce that proposal, but I think in our mind, like, it was such a big thing that he really brought it as like, okay, this choice is defining for your life. And I remember people calling me, like, they were just being scared, like, what's going on?
It's so serious.
So serious, yeah. Oh yeah, the tone sounded like the world ended. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's just because in our mind, like, it was such a big deal to make that switch.
Yeah. I mean, we were really worried about it, like about how it would be, how people would react to it, and like.
Yeah.
But especially because we were still in the very early stages of actually working on the ARM chip, so it's like also like the whole unknown factor of like, oh, how is this actually going to play out?
Yeah.
And like, is it going to be on time, and everything like that. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it was.
Well.
I mean, it ended up working pretty well, but there was a long way to go at the time. I also remember, I think I visited my wife's family in Vietnam, and I had like I brought these like sample development boards there as well, and on the background they were making these PCB samples, because I think also the particular chip that we ended up using, we couldn't find any development boards. So a development board is basically like a sort of like a small test board of the chip that you're going to use. And there's like a few buttons, some lights, and you can kind of use it to like sort of test and verify your software. And but we found like one that was, I think, relatively close. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, it was like a similar. It was like in the same kind of family, but the most significant difference, which was quite significant for us, was that the USB controller on it was completely different. So we couldn't do any USB development with it.
Yeah.
So that was a nice time.
Yeah. Yeah, because like also good to highlight where it's like if you change the chip like that, you basically need to redo the firmware from the core, where it's like, okay, not only, well, of course, like you need to re-implement some like scanning things and RGB things, but then also like the entire way the USB stack works, it just needs to be completely different. And it ended up being quite smooth because of some like open source, good open source projects that we could base on. But then before we actually found it and had that fully done, it was quite scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, but it did end up working out quite well. Like we were able to get like the USB working, and then it's been pretty smooth from that point. When as soon as we got it working initially, then it was kind of just like, oh, we just need to re-implement all the different elements of the USB interface and everything like that there, and then it was pretty fine.
Yeah. And so there was actually like pretty some big developments happening there in parallel, where it's like, so we have this, so the first production at the time, so we're talking about like I think like April, May, June, that time, the first mass production of the 60HC wasn't even finished, and so we were both like working towards finalizing that mass production, and also in parallel making this whole new development with the ARM chip to make sure that the second batch that we wanted to follow up as fast as we could, also because some people they choose to be part of the next batch and change from AVR to ARM, so we wanted to make sure that they didn't have to wait for too long. Kevin, do you remember any particular about the time about running up to the 60HC AVR production?
I think it's just like you mentioned, between May or even June.
Yeah.
I think at the moment we find out the AVR is just like gone. Like we cannot obtain any more.
Yeah.
We just suddenly we have a very like intense meeting, I believe. Like we have a lot of meetings actually.
Yeah.
And we just finally locked down to yes, we really need to do it. But at the time, I think we are on like the early stage on the ARM. So it's really like very close, and yes, that's just like, I think it's just after the PVT of the original, the AVR one, from our supplier, or
Okay, here's a little bit of an echo, but
yeah, it's something we cannot do much.
Okay, this is kind of done. Hey, but Kevin, wasn't it also at the time that that are so usually your contact window with the factory is like what we call a PM or a project manager, and there was also quite a lot of like changes happening with the project manager, right? Like there were a lot of different project managers at the time, I remember.
No, it's not for 60HE. It's before 60HE.
Okay, yeah. After the 60HC, they started to take us a lot more serious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think we are pretty lucky. They switch a very quiet, professional PM covering for the 60HE case. Yeah, right. The whole project. I mean,
yeah. So
can you check if we fixed the audio now?
Okay, can we check if Kevin? Can you say something?
Hey.
Okay,
Still
echoing? I can still hear you. For me, it seems fine. But then let's see if the stream can hear you as well.
Okay.
Big fat delay.
Big fat delay.
Still,
Seems fine. Okay.
Okay.
But is the echo gone?
Should be now.
Okay, we can hear.
From the speaker,
No delay. Okay, it's better. Okay, good.
I think at the time, great. I think at the time I'm also working on the PPT keycaps, but I have a very vague memory about is the AVR, the first production of the 60HE come with the PPT keycaps or not?
Sorry, I can't really hear you. They're playing around with audio, and all of a sudden you turn very quiet.
Sander, stop it.
Sander, yeah.
That's kind of weird. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
SMH.
Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
Just continue where you were, Kevin.
Okay. I believe at the time, like June and you and Simon are working on the ARM.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of like half working on this, and I also working on the PBT keycaps, the
Yeah.
first, like our first legendary PBT keycaps. But I forgot if are we publish the PBT keycaps along with the first AVR 60HE or not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first AVR 60HE also came with our like our new Wooting PPT keycaps. Yes,
Oh,
because we had
because
the
there's a
pre-installed
lot
version
of
at
like
the time, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of like
So I'm pretty sure that.
crossover. That
yeah.
should be the case.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that, I mean, relatively speaking, that project was pretty smooth, right?
Yeah, yeah, true. But we
Yeah.
did kind of like put a lot of effort, especially for Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I only remember with the Keycap packaging, that was still quite a lot of work. Because with the Keycap packaging, it's actually surprisingly tricky because for Keycap packaging, you want it to be sort of strong enough that it survives shipping, basically, which is obviously very
Yes.
intense. But you also don't want it, so there's basically this blister and you kind of click all the keycaps on, but you also don't
Yeah.
want it to be too strong because when you get it home, you need to open up the blister, you also need to install it. So you also want to be able, so ideally it needs to be strong enough that it doesn't like fly everywhere during shipping, but also when you actually want to install it on your keyboard, like it's also kind of like not too
It's
strong.
very easily access to the keycaps while
Yeah,
you install
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to open it and then it just like flush all the keycaps fly everywhere because you're the
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's actually surprisingly tricky.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then, yeah, that all worked out. That all worked out pretty well. So we actually, at the time, we actually did the first 680 AVR mass production, and it finished on the 27th of May, if you remember. I don't, but it's in my notes. It's a very specific date. I wonder why that is. And
yeah,
but that
so
means that the
weird.
first people that actually started receiving the 6HC AVR in June. And that was a very, very crazy time because the 6HC obviously much anticipated. Also, the first product that I think what's also cool is that it's the first like keyboard product that Kevin fully designed, with obviously his signature strap. And
Yeah.
yeah, we that launch went quite well, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So we so at the so first people received it, but also first reviews kind of coming out, and yeah, I think at the time just kind of like this crazy hype, maybe just starting to boil a little bit. But I think we'll kind of jump more into that in the later topics. The last thing that I quickly wanted to note, which is something that we can never forget, is that we also at the time we also tried to introduce a lot of new products like accessories as well. So you already talked about the keycaps, but we also did the lube, the toolkit, and the springs. And Kevin, what happened with the springs?
Right.
Did anything go wrong with the springs? What can go wrong with
Everything.
making a set of
What
springs?
can go wrong with making a non-magnetic spring? What can go wrong? Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
the first product. No, I have the final like pre-production. Before the production, they got me like a signed golden sample, and it's non-magnetic. It's like stainless steel. I tested with the magnet from the switch, and I also have a magnet for myself. It's non-magnetic at all.
Yeah.
But suddenly, and all of a sudden, I finished the MP, and we just shipped the whole batch spring to Netherlands, and I kind of forgot did we QC it, but after one of the customer find out, hey, this is a magnetic spring,
Yeah.
and we said, oh, holy, what happened? Like, yeah, it's very because every sample I have, I don't have the mass production one because they just send directly to the Netherlands. But every
Yeah.
sample I get here, it's non-magnetic, like purely. Yeah, it cannot conduct any magnetic. Yeah, so this is like a long battle for me, and especially for the supplier. We are communicating directly. It's a very, I would say, local China factory, like Spring Factory. It's super
Yeah.
local. He barely knows, understand or speak English. So I'm kind of like the middleman everywhere with him.
Yeah.
I even take care of the shipping list and the barcode, the parcel, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we just asked him to remake it, and yeah, he also keep his promise. But yeah, he knows this is not like unacceptable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I also
It's
remember
just-
like it was
this is
also very
super
typical where it's
crazy.
like I feel like with these kind of things that they kind of try to get away with it sometimes, and then
Yeah.
later you're like, but then these springs are magnetic. We had like as a requirement that we're non-magnetic, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no problem. We'll just make a new batch. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not really the point. I mean, the point is that we have all these people now that receive these products and they're not good. And like, oh yeah, no problem. We'll just make a new one. And I was like, but why did you just make it the right way before? You thought we would have known this? Like, it's so different.
I think during the mass production, he must have amnesia or something. He just totally forget we are ordering with those non-magnetic raw material or something. So he
Yeah.
just grabbed what he have in the factory, I would say. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
literally
think so
go
too.
through the chat history and quote the spec I set with non-magnetic stainless steel, and I just quoted in the chat history and say, hey, this is the like the standard or the spec at the time, and it's only like 1 month ago. It's not like a very long, like 2 or 3 months before
Yeah.
we do the mass production. Yeah, it's quite close.
Yeah.
And he just, oh yeah, no one, 没问题, no, sure, fine. But actually, yeah, quite surprising.
Yeah, so also for those not in the know, like I kind of say there's no problem, but you have this like Chinese expression 没问题, which just means no problem. And
No
that's
problem.
like sort of the answer you always get, where it's like, yeah, no problem, 没问题, we'll fix it. Well,
It's fine.
it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun surprise when we got the images posted in Slack of customers who had just got the springs like sticking to the stem of the Switch.
Yes,
Like, oh,
exactly.
okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then I had already taken like a sample whenever I visited the Netherlands. I had taken
Yeah.
it home and I hadn't opened it yet. And then I remember like you just messaging me, but like, yeah, could you just check if your sample is magnetic? And I opened them up, got a magnet. I'm like, yeah, they're magnetic. All right.
Yeah, that was really stupid. Like it just also felt so dumb. Like it's the like
I think every year we just cannot escape from this kind of a surprise.
Yeah, for
Every
sure.
year we always have this kind of a surprise. Even
Yeah.
though we really don't want to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't win.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Mm.
I think the last quick topic that I wanted to bring up before we go into the big quiz is at the time, because also like so many people were waiting for the 6GT, we also worked a lot on providing more information in the hub. And Simon, can you share a bit about that?
There's so many times that we've added stuff to the hub that I can't even remember which one this was.
Yeah, I mean, this is just about like the batch info and all that kind of things.
Yeah, because this must have been like around when we first launched the the new hub, not the original basic hub that we made for the
Yeah,
6HE
exactly. Yeah,
launch
yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember much of what like the first version looked like at this point. There's so many we've iterated it so much. Like we started off with just kind of getting like the basic kind of like step by step and like the estimations and stuff.
Yeah.
But then that was so simplistic compared to what we have now.
Yeah.
Where we like added on like trying to include like the estimations for delivery based on like shipping providers and different locations and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think we also kind of started with this this batch checker page, right, where you could kind of like see an overview of all the products and what different batches they are, and where you
and
can
have,
kind of
like,
like
the
fill
little
in your
order
order
status
number,
checking.
and then it sees you like a quick
Yeah.
preview of your delivery date.
Yeah, but I remember we had so many issues with like the air freight like information passing, because we kind of for a while we kind of relied on this kind of like, oh yeah, like just take a month away from the date that it gives you, and that's
Right.
like roughly what the air freight will be. But
Yeah.
then in reality, like that, you can't really like it results in a lot of confusion, especially with like that being missed. But even just like, oh, if you actually read it and then use that information, like, oh, that's not necessarily that accurate to
Yeah.
what it will actually end up being in reality. Like, in like, because it's not like a strict like, oh, you take 30 days off and then that's the exact air freight date.
Yeah.
But at least now we have it in a bit of better shape where we can actually kind of have a bit more control over that.
Yeah. I think even at the start we didn't even subtract the 30 days. There was just like sort of an asterisk where it's like, oh, if you have air freight,
a little bit
you
of
can
text to be like, please.
yeah.
Please take away
That
much.
was very, very confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a mess. But even like, even just automatically taking a month away, it's like, it was just a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah.
And just producing some
Yeah.
accidental false promises.
Yeah, we really improved quite a lot on the whole basically how to estimate deliveries of like a lot of pre-orders. It's actually pretty complicated topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a complicated story, especially because we had a lot of problems with the date for a long time. The estimation was just like, oh, when will it be shipped from the warehouse to you?
In the warehouse, yeah.
And it's not necessarily, or there's a lot very easy to misinterpret that, and some like, because that's not what most people think about. Like, that's not the most people, like, they see a date for estimation and they think, oh, that's when it's going to get to me.
Right.
But that's not what we were showing for a long time. We were showing that, oh, this is when it will get shipped out to you, and that was also like a source of confusion to people.
Yeah.
And leading to some disappointments, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's okay. We fixed it.
It's all fixed now. Yeah.
It's all fixed. We promise.
Yeah. And the other big thing you also, of course, spent a lot of time on was the whole ARM development.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that was like a lot of ARM development during the getting the software like ready for the 60HE launch as well. Like, that was a lot of happening in parallel.
Yeah.
And it was kind of lucky that, well, I mean, it's not really luck. I mean, it's good design. But
good design.
At least for
Yeah.
the firmware, good design is all good design. So like the firmware side, it was mainly like a lot of the initial getting 60HE working was really straightforward. Like, there wasn't really that much to do. And so I remember we had like probably like 60HE firmware builds in like the main utility version for like 6 months, or like even like the year before, like because it was like working so quickly. But then the biggest development was like actually developing the new features that we wanted to launch the 60HE with, like ModTap and the advanced key system and per key rapid trigger, I think was for that as well.
Yeah.
And so that was the one that took a lot of time, and then doing that while also porting the whole firmware to ARM. And then I had a look back earlier at what the it's a commit history, and I even noticed that like I was still working on the advanced key system for ModTap. That was still like happening completely in parallel with ARM. Like, so the ARM was being based on, like, initially the ARM port was completely based on like the pre 60HE firmware feature set, I guess. But at least the nice thing with how we approached the development for that was that a lot of the we were able to kind of separate out a lot of the kind of, let's say, like feature implementations, like that are not really hardware specific, and kind of split that away from the hardware specific things. Yeah. And producing kind of like a HAL layer, like a hardware abstraction layer for that. Yeah. And so that we can kind of isolate all the actual like firmware feature implementations from the actual like, oh, how does it communicate with the RGB controller and all that.
Yeah. So basically, so for the AVR, so I mean, always in our firmware development, we really try to have basically these different blocks, right? Like, you have a little bit of the scanning the keys, and then the handling the keys, and then ModTap is kind of part of that block of handling the keys, and rapid trigger is part of that block, and some analog stuff. And how, like, what we were very happy with, how it kind of turned out, and you just say it's good engineering, so we'll just stick with that, is that we were able to take this sort of like AVR backend, take it out, get the ARM backend, plug it in. And of course there were some like connections that needed to be made here or there, but it was pretty smooth. Like
yeah, it was like some kind of like code specific things, like some let's say like defines or functions that were specific to the AVR like SDK and stuff like that there that we had to kind of abstract out a little bit. But for the most part, it was just kind of like slight like I don't know, like slight symbols and stuff that were different and just had to like redefine them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad.
No.
But then still like quite scary, especially when we had like that the first full sample with the ARM chip and the there was like the missing trace for bringing the pull-up resistor for the USB lines.
For the USB,
Yeah, and then Q like soldering like this one wire and a resistor onto like to bridge it over so we could get USB working.
Yeah.
But then I remember like I'd already done like a lot of the theoretical implementation for the USB working, and like I was just like, why is this not running? Why is it like not working? And then when we figured that out and we got the wire soldered on and everything, from what I remember, it worked like pretty early on.
I think after we had the hardware fix, like it was pretty smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, but I was quite lucky that like at least we were able to kind of reuse like the implementations for the like communication with the USB controller, that we didn't have to kind of make that ourselves. We just were able to kind of like, okay, we just got to hook up all the right things together, and then it just works.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough for ARM development now. We're going to jump into the next big thing, which is going to be the quiz. Yay. So I'll hand over the hosting to my good friends Son and Erik.
Hey. Also known as
Simon.
the midgets.
The midgets are fading here.
Simon and Kevin, thank you so much.
Good luck, have fun.
Yes, have fun.
And transition.
Well, we'll see.
Bye-bye.
Nice one.
We will
You're not going
see,
to crouch through underneath the table? Okay.
We will see Simon in a bit, but I think this is the end for Kevin, right? This has been a moment.
This is the end.
Sounds like
really?
firing him.
The end of the year. End of the live stream. Oh no! End of the day for Kevin.
It's nice of you, Kevin, that you could join because it's already pretty late at your side, and I'll see you next year, Kevin.
Sure. I'll see everybody.
Bye-bye.
And
Ciao, Kevin.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, have a good new year.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, so you
Quiz
guys
time.
still have to set things up.
I have to.
Yes, you have to set things up. So Erik will do his thing. Hopefully, you won't crash the stream.
Oh, I need a keyboard.
Yes, we also need to. Yeah.
So well prepared.
Sorry, plugged in, so you can go ahead. So I'm Sander. I'm of Sander, if you call it in the Dutch way.
That's a PCBA.
What?
Fake keyboard.
Oh, it's a fake keyboard.
There's also a fake. We only have fake keyboards here.
No, that doesn't.
That's fake.
This one's real. This one is real, right? Only don't have. This is also. Dudes, why don't you have working keyboards here?
I don't know.
Works at Wooting, doesn't even have working keyboards here.
Oh, but the props in the background, they do work. Okay.
Oh boy. So in meanwhile, Erik is setting up things. I'll have a little bit of a background story how I actually arrived at Wooting. So first off, I was looking for an internship. I had a different internship. So I had two conversations. So first off, I just posted on Twitter, hey, I need a internship. And Jeroen was very kind to actually message me, hey, we can maybe hook you up. But I also had another company, which is kind of big in the Netherlands. So I thought like, oh, it's big, nice, big company. It's very good for my CV, however you say it in English. So I thought I'd go with the other company. But then it was like, I was there and it's like, it's just most corporate shit out there. So I was like, well, okay, this is not my place. So I went back and I begged Wooting, please get me in here. They said, yeah, sure thing. So that's nice. It suits me way better here because it's I'm not a corporate guy. I'm in a suit though. This is the first time I'm ever in a suit. But further, everything is really fun, and I mostly work now on the marketing side of things. So I mostly work on the videos. Maybe some of you already seen those on the channel. If you don't, I suggest watching. It's very good stuff. Also, very good stuff coming soon.
I think I need a better keyboard.
Why?
Yeah, but it's because I need to type stuff and this also doesn't work.
You have 4 keyboards. I mean, you just have
Well, in the meantime,
keycaps.
we can.
How did you attach this? It's just on a plate or something. Or how did you even attach keycaps on something that's not working?
It does has a PCBA in it. It just does has a PCBA. That's the thing. Oh, but
Nice.
we can take a glance over the quiz prizes.
Ooh, yeah, we have some nice prizes in store for you.
Ooh, here we go.
So,
the big quiz prize this year is the number 1 prize. You
I
get
thought on number 3.
you want to start with the number 3?
Yeah, I think we should start with number 3. That's the best prize of all.
that's-
Then it just goes downhill,
It's
really.
at least the most unique prize. Ooh, this is a nice one. This
It's
is a
crazy
nice keyboard.
that people from Netherlands can make such a revolutionary keyboard like this.
Yes.
We are just.
So, the
I didn't
big-
do anything, but they did.
The big prizes this year is on place number 3. We have so the one who get like 3rd place, he or she gets a nice Wooting blanket. It's of course a very unique prize because it's it's I don't know, it's so expensive, the gas bill, so everybody can use it. Everybody
This
should allow.
Is in the end more worth than a keyboard itself because it saves you on the gas prices.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And what's the second prize? Do you remember?
The second second prize is a Wooting wrist rest, a lube kit. So you get a lube and a kit, and also a game that you actually chose. And why did you actually choose it?
The game. Oh, the game is
Yeah,
pretty
the
good. The game.
I never
is-
heard of it, but
No, it's not really an indie game. I'm also I'm writing down how people can
Yeah.
join the quiz. So let me first finish this, and then I'll go over the prizes. So this looks totally not jank. It's super west.
it's left top corner, top left.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus! No,
Just size it out. Just scale it. Just full screen it. Go ahead. I mean, we already had a 50-minute delay.
It's gone. It's gone.
and
It's gone.
echo and whatever.
What's happening? Oh, it's here. Here we go. Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
This is the most.
I've set up the whole quiz, so it's my yeah.
Yes. Okay,
Oh, nice. Yeah, so okay.
this is pretty good.
We have now a link. It's
Now people. So it's here. It's there.
there,
Yes.
over there.
You can see. You can go to joinmyquiz.com, and then you need to register a little bit because we don't want people to have fake accounts and stuff. And then you can join
Mhm.
the quiz by entering that room number, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. And if you can choose a nickname, either use your Twitch or Discord name because that's a lot easier to verify who you are without spoiling your email address to the whole world. Because I think what are we now? 10k viewers or something? It's at least must be something. Must be something good. Yeah. So go to the link, joinmyquiz.com, register, try use your Discord or Twitch name, and then fill in that code. I'm jumping quickly back to the prizes to.
They are so beautiful.
This is so beautiful. What a transition. So second place prize is a wrist rest, lube kit, and a game Neon White. And Neon White is pretty unique. Be sure to join the quiz. Neon White is pretty unique. It's sort of a speed run game with platforming, and the point is you have to go from point A to point B in a weird parkour thing. It's not really Mirror's Edge. It's more edgy. The whole thing is edgy overall, and the more people play it, the more fun it is because people break records constantly. It's I can only recommend the game. So at least try to be first or second place. And the first place is, of course, you'll get the Wootonology role on Discord. That's the most prestigious role because that means you know everything about Wooting and what there is to it. You also get like a keyboard and a whole
who cares
keyboard
about
kit.
keyboards? All for the rank, of course.
It's all for the ranks. First place, Wootonology, you get like a keyboard, a wrist rest, loop toolkit, springs, whatever. Everything we have you get, and the game Neon White, which is pretty nice. So be sure to join the
Joinmyquiz.com. Fill in the code. Register your account, of course.
Yes.
And
in the
then
meantime,
soon enough we will start the quiz, and it's going to be nice stream on the stream. It's Streamception now.
No, it's not. It's in studio mode.
Oh,
don't
it's
worry.
studio. Oh, phew, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. But
They'll probably see a slide thing of it, but yeah, who put it? Someone actually put it in chat, right? That's nice. I
Yes.
think Manson did, or someone else. Yeah.
somebody put it in.
Thank you,
chat.
thank you.
How are we going? This the.
What? No, the overlay is in.
You're sharing your whole screen here.
Yeah, this is the whole screen. That's the point of it, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to show the whole screen, right? You only want to show.
You want to show the quiz. So if you just
Yeah.
put the quiz on full screen, you have the quiz in full size.
That's.
I think I made a mistake, maybe, but yeah,
That's true.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It sounds good to me, but
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I would do it like this.
So we already have 70 people in the quiz. Nice, nice.
Oh.
At least I think I see 70 numbers, so I guess that's it. 71.
Here we go.
We have 2 quins,
2 quins.
but one with 1 N and one with 2.
Yeah. I think you want to just share this part, so we can control this part still. Right.
Yeah, I mean that's something you would want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll.
Oh, you just put it in like this?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put it in like this. That's horrible. I'm gonna put it in like this. I'm just gonna do full screen now. I don't care anymore. Okay. Still, people can still join. I only see 79 people who join. So be sure to join the quiz. It's the link down there below.
I think we should see the prize again.
One quick glance over the
One
prizes.
quick glance. Why you want to join in?
Why this is
So of course, your first prize, you have your Wooting keyboard, wrist rest, loop kit, and the
What
game
a-
Neon White.
what a transition.
The second prize, of course, the wrist rest, the toolkit, and Neon White. And the third and best is the Wooting blanket.
Yes. Seeing so many familiar
I'm already
faces.
jealous of the one who actually receives the blanket because I want one too, but we don't get one. We're not
Well,
as important as the
no.
quiz winners.
No, but I mean, maybe your parents, they can join the quiz and can win it for you. That's a
Oh,
nice
shit.
gesture.
Sorry, I have to call my grandparents. Please join.
No, it's I think I'm about to start the quiz. Let's give it another minute so people can join in.
Yeah, people are still
Last
joining it.
chance.
So yeah, what's time now? Do you wanna start at maybe like in 4 minutes? 'Cause I
4
see-
minutes? No, that's too long.
Yeah, we can make 4 minutes
that's too
happen.
long. As soon as we reach 100, I'm just gonna start it. But it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces. See Rocky. Rocky won the quiz once. Oh, he got second place. I can remember it, but he's.
So he's maybe getting a lead into this.
Yeah, I hope that Violet is also here because Violet is also always a high contender, and
I mean, he was in the chat.
then. then
I
she's
think he
probably
should be
here.
in there. Or not.
And
Where
yeah.
is he?
Ooh, where is she? Where's Violet? Or maybe she changed the name, right? That's also
Maybe
possible.
that's a possibility, yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I'm
Can you
quite
open the
excited.
chat, by the way?
Can I open the
A
chat?
little bit bigger. You know, it's like, oh, it's so tiny. I have glasses, but I still don't see shit.
Oh, here's the chat. Here, here's chat. Chat.
Ah, yeah. I'm in for the blanket. Yeah, Logi. That's the one.
I think let's just start the quiz because we have never had so many attendees for the quiz.
Need to win the blanket to make it fit with my Wooting socks.
Wooting sucks.
Socks.
Wooting sucks.
Socks with the O, not a U.
Okay. Are we ready?
I guess you don't want to wait till
No. We have to
30, so I
We
guess
have 90 people. Look at 91.
91.
Oh, that's so much. Okay, last call. 10 seconds left.
Oh, okay, 10 seconds is a bit quicker. Okay.
10 seconds. I'm gonna start with the quiz. Ooh, did you practice? I bet you. I mean,
I know
people-
the answer, so how can...
Some people from Wooting are also watching here.
Joinmyquiz.com.
JohnMcQuiz.com! Get in! Quick! 10 seconds is already over, but he's still
And we're gonna start.
allowing
in
for more.
3, 2, 1, action!
Let's go!
Do it.
Okay,
it.
switch the scenes to the quiz.
This one.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, there is annoying music. It's turned off. Let me turn it off. Oh, so here we can see live what the current score is.
Oh, we don't actually see the questions happening now?
We see it afterwards. So now we can see that Ruma
Oh.
is first place and he is speeding like crazy.
He's on a hot streak. He's on a
streak.
streak, man. Jeez.
What a hot streak.
So
Oh,
the
oh.
perp thing is like if they answer wrong?
That's red. That's red.
Yeah, it's a red, purple,
No,
pink.
it's
Sorry,
red,
I'm not
it's
even
not
colorblind,
purple.
but I still can't see it. So people,
Look at this.
I'm
Oh,
by
Mark
it is
made
on
a
a
mistake. Mark made a
Ah,
mistake.
Mark, don't you? You can even get the notion and see the answers.
But Ruma, look at that. Ruma's. Oh.
He's on the lead.
Oh,
Oh,
yes!
I am wrong. The
there
streak
goes
is.
There goes hot streak. But look
It's
at
gone, man.
So here's like the tactic, right?
Oh my
If
god.
you
it's
take
all
your time, the faster you answer a question, the more points you get. But if you get it wrong, you don't get points at all, right?
Yeah.
So if you take your time to think about a question.
I mean, look at this guy, the third spot. He has a lot of questions wrong, but still he's on the third spot.
Yeah, he played well, but a lot of people who haven't reached this point yet, right? So now sort of people are coming up.
Oh, right, I see. Oh, streak from I'm Bite. Well, is this Simon? Side. Side is Simon. Huh?
Side is Simon, I guess, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Mark is third place. I mean, Mark's really going to go for the
Oh,
blanket.
he wants the blanket. Well, you have to go a little bit lower. You have to go one below, actually, from the blanket.
I'm Bites on the 7th.
I'm Bite on the 7th streak.
It never happened before that anybody got all questions correct. It never happened.
It never happened?
It never happened before.
Well, we have one. Do we have? Yeah, we kind of have a trick.
Oh!
It's gone.
Well, maybe somebody else, right?
Yeah,
Because
maybe who's on the streak? Who's on the streak? Who's on the streak? There's a 3 streak there, but there's no streaks further.
No.
Oh, that's a whole lot of red here.
Yeah, I mean, Verdi is our last hope this year. Verdi is our last hope.
Can people still join this though? Because you still see the joining code.
Only 40% accuracy. We made the questions too difficult this year.
I thought this would have been.
Oh, but can somebody beat Mauro?
Maroru.
I'm by rumor. Oh, I mean Mark 4th place. So that's. I mean that's.
Even an employee doesn't. Oh, you didn't get a 3rd place. That's a shame.
I think we're almost through it. Almost everybody answered their question. Take your time. Rocky, what's going on?
Rocky is on rock bottom.
That's the Rockmeister. I expected more.
41% accuracy. Ooh.
That's something.
Yikes.
But I think we can. It's safe to assume that this will be the.
Well, there's still 12 people have to complete it.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, but some people only show top 5.
Only show top. No, we want to see. Oh, there's a streak there. I saw a streak happening. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's actually. It's already completed. Yeah.
I think most people.
Damn. I guess the questions were kind of difficult.
Oh, gold bullets! You failed me as well. Goblin is going for it. It's.
We still have Vlad Isenko. You can still do it. Come on, Vlad.
Vlad is the last hero.
Vlad lad. Yeah, I think
everybody sort of filled it in, and I'm gonna end it in 1 minute. So we have to give the last people some time to.
Yeah. So we still have 4 people who actually have to complete it, but I think some people just gave up. They were like, "No, I'm not gonna win anything. Let me just exit this and just."
Maybe there's secret prizes.
Then I don't even know those.
Hey.
I'm the host. No, I made actually the stream and I don't even know about it. You already had this in your mind, didn't you?
I always had to. So we do this every year. Okay.
Is this something that we can spill the beans, or you spill the beans, or because
we
I
can
don't
probably
know?
spill the beans, and then Mark can go fetch Calder because Calder has to go up in like 10 minutes, and maybe send Anders a message. Who knows? Let's stop here. It's this is it.
And this is it.
Yes.
Ooh. So congratulations to Maroru for the.
I think we're getting it now.
Maybe it's crashing and people can just do it over again. Okay.
There we go.
What was doing?
All
done.
Look
That's
at this.
nice and cozy. Yeah, jamming with the coffee. I don't like coffee, but maybe it's tea.
So the winner, Maru.
Oh, one question wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So Maru. Congratulations on winning 1st place. So you'll be getting on Discord the Wootenology role. You get like a keyboard of your choice and a whole kit together, and the game Neon White. Congratulations! It's a major feat. I mean, only one question wrong. That's quite impressive.
But nobody has.
Then we have
correct.
I'm Byte 2nd place. He or she is getting a wrist rest and a lubing kit, and the game Neon White. And then Rumor sniped the 3rd place from Mark, and he's getting a nice cozy blanket.
Warm blanket.
But there's always something we do. We call it Poedelprijs.
Oh yeah, I remember you said that before. I already forgot it. I forget everything, but I have a little bit have dementia. Wait, what are you doing? Oh my god.
Can I still go back?
Are we actually mentioning people through this program so you know it's actually the right one?
I think so. We can probably.
We can do that. Yeah.
We will reach out to you. Before we go to the Poedelprijs, let's just go through the question.
Okay.
Because it's always nice to learn the correct answers.
Ooh.
So when was the first mass production of the Wooting 60HE? It actually was the 23rd of May.
27th.
No?
You actually
Was
had
it
it in the
27th?
notes
Oh.
of Notion. It was actually
What's this?
27th.
This one. Yeah. Okay. I failed. Okay. It's the 27th. I'm glad a lot of people. Most people had this question right?
Yeah, most people had it right, so that's
that's
something.
nice.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Let's go to the next one.
What badge name for the 60HE is real?
This one is tricky
Yeah,
because
it's
NA Rocket. Because NA toothbrush is nothing. It's NA toothpaste, I think, or something. And NA Baker and EU. So this was like really sneaky.
Yeah, the bakers, like the Dutch translation is always for the Europe badges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can you get the correct information about your order, delivery news, etc.? That's of course the Wooting Hub. It's not the Wooting Club. It's not Wooting Discord and Wooting Sub. I'm curious, did we see what question the first place had wrong? Question 5.
Question 5, yeah.
Question 5. Let's.
So this was who made the least appearances on the live stream this year?
This one was also very tricky, but a lot of people had it correct. The correct answer was Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin appeared 0 times last year. Only today for the first time.
And
So
Tony a few weeks ago was only once, yeah.
Yeah, you've been on here twice already, and
Twice,
even
yeah.
Mark was here, and I'm.
Ooh.
It's quite nice, but at least Kevin is still alive, and we can all see it. How many minutes of the Wooting 60? Oh, he got this question wrong. Yeah, that's nice, right? So, how many minutes of the 60 updates can you watch on YouTube? This, of course, was like a very tricky question. Nobody would have gets correct. I counted every minute, and it's close to 132 minutes.
So you can spend 2 hours binge watching all the updates.
It's like a
nice.
full feature-length movie. You can see Calder rambling about a lot of stuff.
Sounds like a good day.
Won the epic Minecraft tournament? This was before your time.
Yeah, I have no clue.
It wasn't Vio, it wasn't Miss Rooks, and it wasn't Ilias Place, because those were 3 of them. All the 3 of them, they helped build the Minecraft competition, and a lot more people helped building it. But Nine Cloaks was the one who won. He was also the one who showed some honor in the end and went for it, right? And he took home the lead. Do you know this one, Sander?
What upgrade did we make to the Wooting 2HE? And I mean, I know it because you showed me the quiz answers.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, we definitely didn't add a strap, so I know that one. The USB-C connection was always a thing. Or did you mean like to the previous Wooting 2 to this one?
No, this.
Okay, so I probably would have assumed the last one, but
or you paid attention at the start of the live stream.
I never pay attention.
What did we discontinue? Did we discontinue the Fortnite Double Movement app? Yes, we did. The answer's there on screen. It's not a surprise. We didn't actually discontinue Utility Web, and this is something I hope that Jeroen would have mentioned in the Wootup V3, because during the Wootup we officially announced Utility Web last year. So it isn't even a year old publicly, which is nice. Yeah, there was never a built-in gyroscope feature for the Wooting one. It's an April Fool's joke.
What's Valorant Tap?
I don't know. It kind of looks like Fortnite Double Movement. Okay, and this is for all the sweaty gamers out there. What does PP mean in Boss?
I like how two people actually chose it for the for the biggest diggers.
No, it was performance points, but that's something we'll get later on into the stream. Yeah. And the last and final question: what was lost on the train by Calder?
Nice.
Good news. These days he has 2 monitors. So after all these years,
this is one of his monitors, and he has actually the one downstairs now. So that's nice. He actually stepped up the ranks.
And of course, Calder lost the pre-production model, which was kind of painful. Let's see who won the Poedelprijs. The one who got most questions incorrect. It is. Oh, the list goes on. It's not these 2, because these.
No, they didn't do anything.
And he didn't finish. So it's
only those who finished.
So it's Nathan. Nathan
Rizzini.
Yeah, but the 2 people who are very off.
I'm not sure what the Poodle prize is.
Yeah, it's always like a thing where you get a quiz question answer for next year. So it's like answer 2 is A, for example. That's and probably we'll make a nice mug or a nice medal. I think we even gave like a little necklace last year. Yeah, with the correct answer on it. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's very.
But we still have to think about it. What we're gonna do with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
but they will get something.
something.
Yes.
We will let you know.
Yeah, we'll reach out to you for your prize, and thanks everybody for participating. It's I think nobody. Oh, let's get back on. Let's get back on screen. Hey!
Oh,
here we go.
wow!
Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm sorry we missed the chat a little bit here, but
Yeah, we still do now. But can you get up the chat?
yes.
It's on a different Chrome window actually.
Oh, it's this one.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Good.
Sander is too young to be quoting Monty Python. I actually watched Monty Python. It's before my time, but I stopped watching it. It's actually really fun.
Sander's not too young. Sander's an old soul.
I am. How old do you think I am? I'm wondering because everybody always thinks I'm way younger. How old do you think I am?
12.
Yeah, that's most people probably thinking.
What was
At
the-
least 2. Well, yeah.
Where's the Here we
Ooh,
go.
32. Wow, people actually thinking it must be the suit.
It's a suit. Right?
It's a
It is the
suit, definitely.
Suit. I'm 32. But
Like
thanks,
the first high school dance, I didn't even went to the high school dance.
75.
I'm
let's
way
go.
too shy for that shit. 75, yeah, boy. No, I'm actually 27. No, 26. Sorry, I don't even know it anymore. 26.
So I think this was the most fun part of the stream. At least for me, I always enjoy doing the quiz and seeing people. But this time the questions were pretty tough.
Yeah, nobody got everything right. So
Yeah, but
maybe
that-
next year.
Next year.
I
But,
mean, those who actually you spilled the beans on for one question might have a flying
Yeah.
chance.
Again, congratulations to the winners. In the next screen, you'll be like probably somewhere in view. Who knows?
26 and a half, that's right.
That's nice. Okay, let's
And I
let's
thought
continue with this end of the year live stream. Calder.
you should actually
Pardon?
put like NA toothpaste next year. And then do it like a next quiz. And then make it fair into that, yeah.
Okay, toothpaste when yes. Let's see. What we arrived at July and October. right?
Yes, July to October, that's the next one.
That's the next one. Oh, I mean,
it's
our contenders are already ready, but where are the other contenders?
Yeah, they are just eating chips and getting fat because Christmas time. Nom,
He's
nom, nom.
putting socks on. Okay, that's good. Okay, Calder, you can crawl again.
We're not gonna crawl this
We can-
time.
We can just
Okay.
basically walk underneath.
Okay.
We don't even have to.
We can actually walk on it. You have to come down our ladders.
Maybe you do the.
Okay. It's time. Let's continue. Hey, welcome. Welcome, Anders.
Anders, woo!
Hello.
Hello. It's our favorite duck. Come on.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, always a thing. I can maybe put a little bit lower because
I'll
you want
fix
maybe
it.
a little bit lower.
Thanks again for participating in the quiz, and a warm welcome to Marek
Hello.
and the giant.
The
giant
big
Calder.
man, the big
Yeah.
CEO man.
All right.
Cheers!
Hey.
Have fun!
All right.
Thanks, guys. It's good
Bye.
stuff.
They didn't crawl.
No, they did not.
Bye.
Neither did me, though.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you haven't done the live stream until you've crawled.
It's almost like there was space the whole time.
All right. So we're going to do the next part, and I need to also take a look at the notes at the same time before I know exactly what's happening.
Okay.
But how many people know Mark already? Because if you've ever been in contact with customer support, there's like a 60% chance.
Oh, I'll give it like 40% now. Now, Anders does all the bulk tickets and the
Oh, right.
complicated ones get passed through.
his real name is.
No, he is Anders.
I know, but we call him Anders, but everybody knows him as
Manson.
Manson.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
our favorite duck.
Yeah. Oh, Tony. Whatever. Oh. So, Mark has been doing a lot of the support, and he's was our first dedicated person for support. And Mark's actually very focused on macro picture support. And over the time, it's just been getting more and more crazy with front-end tickets. So That's why when Manson joined the team also which is part of this
that's
stuff.
indeed
All right.
part of the notes. Getting ahead of yourself.
I am getting ahead of myself. Right, so Mark was actually... So I'm going to link this to the timeline before we get Anders in here. And I'll introduce Tony for a moment.
Okay.
Because Tony's been on the live stream also one time now, right?
That's right.
Oh, crap. My God. Am I saying Tony the whole time?
You're bouncing back and forth. I don't know who you're talking about anymore.
I'm talking about Anders.
Anders has not been on
Anders
the live
has
stream.
not been on the live stream before.
Except for right now. Hey!
Hey! So Anders is making the first appearance on the live stream right now, digitally. Sorry for that. Sorry, Anders. Sorry. I was already a little bit confused. I was already thinking like, why would Tony be on this section? Okay, so no, that would make a good link. So then Mark was already here in the beginning. Actually last year already part-time, but then he started full-time this year basically. And as we got through the year, the tickets came too much, and
yeah, it got
Anders,
from being a part-time gig to needing somebody full-time, just focused, dedicated on this piece of the business. And then it, Wooting grew so fast, so much that needed to have additional support, additional eyes on just getting tickets resolved. And yeah, Anders was able to and willing to step in from his Discord support role to a very formal. You are now part of Wooting support, and it's been a tremendous success, I think.
yes, and that's why most of you, or at least anybody that's been in contact with support, either
One of the two of us, yeah.
it was Mark or Anders,
Mm-hmm.
and
Jessica, if it's an order edit.
oh
True.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't see the chat, but then so Anders has been now working full time with us since August.
Yeah.
Whoa,
That's right.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow. Okay, time is going fast. Can barely hear Anders. Can we boost Anders a bit?
The stream can, but there's an echo if we hear it through our microphone. So.
No, I mean Quentin says.
Oh.
On the stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it
Anders needs to be boosted a
Can you
bit.
say something, Anders?
Anders, say something.
Maybe I can. Maybe
No,
I
you
can.
should be loud.
Oh, that should be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Queen.
So that's not Manson. Manson's a duck. Mm-hmm.
that's how it goes. That's right.
You should have just put a picture of a duck in.
Well, it's true though. Manson is known as the duck on the Discord.
It's true.
Discord.
The grumpy duck. The helpful duck now. Ever since we started paying him.
I can barely hear him.
Everything changed.
Yeah,
I think
that's how it goes.
for the period we're in right
I
now.
know what's wrong.
Oh, I think in the period where we're right
Oh,
now
it's
is
not so
what
good.
Mark already mentioned is that suddenly we get this like huge influx of tickets and more questions happening, and we do want to make sure that we have
We
enough
fixed
time.
Anders. We fixed
Anders,
it.
Hey.
now you're
Hey.
actually on the
Ah!
screen.
Oh,
We muted you. Haha,
Oh,
thanks.
Anders was muted.
What? Nope.
Oh, now he froze.
Oh, no,
Oh,
no,
no,
okay.
okay.
Now you
Alright.
can actually speak, yeah.
Now we can hear him.
So Anders can you can say something now. Now people can hear you.
Can they hear me now? Hmm?
No blinking. No.
All right. Right. I think this period is very critical when it came to customer support because we definitely want to make sure that we can answer everybody and give some kind of help everybody and help in the best way we can. But as soon as these like support tickets get a lot, there's a very limited time where we can spend on people, and some things just take a lot more time.
Maybe it would be helpful if to first give a little bit of perspective of how support was handled before even I came on board. So like, what did the three of you guys do to kind of keep on top of support tickets in the old Wooting 1 and 2 and even Lecker Edition days?
Right. So that was also the reason why we got Mark on board is that before Jeroen, myself, Jeroen, and Erik would rotate between customer service and do the tickets, and then at some point, it would be more me or more Jeroen or more Erik, depending on where how things were at the time.
Eric once told me in complete confidence that I'm not going to blurt out for everybody, is that he would specifically go through and choose only the easiest tickets to resolve, so that it would seem like he got the most done, but really put the least amount of effort in.
That sounds
Beneden.
Work smart, not hard.
exactly like the...
Moet je even zoeken met Van N. Right, and then... Nee? In de keuken. Moet je goed kijken. In de keuken, yeah. That's, if you want to know, that's my daughter asking questions about where the scissors are. Right, so...
That's because you used them for the pizza. Didn't put them back.
Yeah, I know, it's in the kitchen, I think, yeah. Okay, so as we were doing the 6HG project, and we were kind of, every year we've been growing with Wooting, and the responsibilities have increased, and we decided, okay, we really need to offload this whole customer service thing. And that's first started with Mark doing it part-time, so we'd have less tickets to go through, and Mark being more like the watchful eye on it.
And I could do the easy ones, and Eric would
No.
work.
Well, in the beginning, but now you do like really tough ones, though. Yeah.
I still do the easy ones.
I think Erik is also... Yeah, Erik checked this week. I didn't check this week. I thought I would check critical ones, but I had just too much other stuff. Okay, anyway, so then Mark started full-time in the beginning of the year because it became very apparent that it's amazing to have Mark and it's amazing to have somebody like focus on this, all of this.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, Mark also indicated, I mean...
It's like, I need help, I need
Yeah.
help. Yeah, no, absolutely. It was especially around that end of July time frame when all of a sudden sales went through the roof, and with more sales is more customers. And
Lots of different questions.
even the same percentage of people who have some kind of question or concern, that turns into a big number all of a sudden.
Yeah,
So-
it's...
Needed to grow, needed to expand.
And that scaled up a lot. And then we got Anders on board, who at first was doing it part-time.
Actually, technically Jessica was first, coming in
Oh,
doing
right.
some of the order edit stuff, getting her
Right.
trained on some of those back-end processes.
So we shifted priorities of somebody else called Jessica. She has not been on the stream yet before. I don't know if she's going to make an appearance on the stream. She is watching right now, though. I was jokingly saying to her that it was her turn this time.
Jokingly, well, not a joke anymore.
But yeah, she shifted her priorities more towards customer service. And then Anders came on board. And I think, like you mentioned, Anders is now doing like the majority of like front-end communication
Yep.
of the tickets. Well, and that's a big thing of customer service in the back end, right? I mean, can you share more about how we deal with these tickets?
Yeah, so there's two halves of what a customer service request might need, and one is front end, that they've got a question or a concern, that they need some information, that they're wondering when is my keyboard going to arrive, or those sorts of things. And then there's a second piece of it, which is all the back end manipulation that needs to get done. And so that's actual order edits, if people have problems with taxes or with import duties or all kinds of different things. There's two totally different realms of customer service. And so Anders gets used kind of almost as the first line of defense, and to help send requests where they need to go, and that is hugely beneficial to kind of just making sure that everybody stays most efficient in what they are doing every day.
So we can also hear from a lot of customers that if they don't get an answer within, I think we say 3 business days, right? And
Yeah.
I think it's pretty close to 3 business days every time that there's at least some type of answer.
Yeah.
But if you don't
At
get
least a
any type of
response,
response, if you don't get any type of response, or within a short time, you feel like it's being completely ignored. And I mean, Anders, can you share more about that?
Well, I mean, that's on me.
So now we can blame Anders for this.
Yes, 100%.
So we're finding somebody else that we can shift the blame to. So if anybody's volunteering. No, but so that's why the whole front end is also important. So we can rapidly answer, but then not everything can be fixed immediately within a very short time frame, depending on the volume. And that's also why we have the Wooting hub, and we try to give more self-control to customers to just make these little edits themselves, and that we don't need to involve like a back-end process taking like multiple days. And
and doing more on our end on the communication standpoint of giving customers the information that they would be looking for anyway, so that they're not asking the questions that they should already have the answer to. We just haven't properly communicated that to them yet. So that's things like the product status page and the batch checker and those sorts of things. And that's been very useful, and Anders has definitely been helpful in also sharing that wording and letting us know, hey, getting a whole bunch of tickets of people who are questioning about this one piece of it, and so let's see if we can do something for the whole of the customer base to get that information out in front of them.
So when the Anders duck quacks, we take action.
It's true. It's true.
Exactly.
And Anders is also the one that's most active, I think, on Discord as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, generally.
And you're also
I live
moderating
there.
now, right?
I mean, I've kind of done that for 4 years or something at this point, so
Nothing new, but also a little bit new. We can probably take some time before you jump off from this section, even though that's kind of really a recent change of some of the Discord things. But we can take some time at the end of this chunk here to talk about that.
All right. Well, maybe it's good that we can finish up customer service part with this.
Okay.
And then we can look into the timeline. And I'm just not 100% sure. I assume they covered the bootloader ARM thing, or everything ARM was covered?
Idea.
Okay, well...
they talked about ARM, I know that for sure.
But then in that case, Anders, maybe you can share a little bit about Discord, the current state of Discord, and what the plan is with Discord in the coming few months.
oh, that's a big question.
Put you on the spot.
Drop the bomb.
I mean, the immediate answer doing anything major right now. We're shifting some stuff around, and we're preparing to make some 2023 changes. So, at least, we do have some plans for some specific things, but a lot of it is still up in the air. Redoing some bot stuff because they've never really been the way we wanted them. As Mark mentioned, the more information people can get themselves, the easier it is for us, and the bot's never been super great at this, which is on us. We have never really fed it with the commands and stuff it needed. So that's something we're looking into. Also, in general, making it easier for people to find information and get customer support. We recently created the support center, which is a huge help because you can make dedicated threads something they ask about instead of having it lost in the flow of threads everywhere. And other people from the community can sometimes chime in and help, which is like a huge help. But of course,
Especially
some
during off hours.
difficult to do, like where is my package, what's up with my order, stuff like that we kind of still need to do by email, in part privacy concerns, because it is a public Discord, so we don't want people information out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely limits to what can be done via Discord, but there's a good chunk of support that can be done through that medium, and that's it's typically just a little bit faster than emailing back and forth. And then
Especially
there's
during
also
the holidays when
thread
we're
out
not
there for
at the
people
office.
to see.
Well, I think what Anders said, also the opportunity for others to help answer questions, right?
Yeah.
Was that it? Or, yeah.
Exactly.
So we'll, in short, also, Discord is then still a very important part of everything we do. And it's one of the first lines of interacting with us, with
And our
the
community. Yeah.
specifically, yeah. And it's also where you can get a lot of information pretty fast. And you're very welcome to stay around. It's not like a regular Discord server of other companies, I would think, because we do try to centralize as much as we can around the community and with different channels and different things you can do. But obviously, everybody's sharing this one like big thing, which is, you don't necessarily need to have a Wooting product at all, obviously, right? But there's channels which never even mention Wooting at the moment.
Though, if you do have a Wooting keyboard and you log into your Wooting hub, you can link your Discord, and then you get a fancy role. And if you've got a pre-order, you can get notifications for your specific batch. There's some cool stuff that we're implementing and integrating into Discord. Definitely.
That's the back on script.
Oh
Yeah.
There's a script.
Well, I just...
I'm preparing.
Oh, you guys were going on for too long with the quiz then.
It doesn't matter. Just
Okay.
Stick to the points.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The producer is saying that we need to go back to the timeline points. So I'm gonna list them out here for you. We went all hands on deck, double down on firmware development and bootloader ARM. Sticking to the script.
That's right.
Then we had 60HE ARM pre-EMI test failed. We did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, scary.
I don't know how much was covered by the tech boys, basically, because ARM was a really big part of what they were doing. But one of the big things with the whole, we had like the switch from the new MCU, and there was like a split into the orders, gave everybody option to choose for the ARM one, etc. And then doing the ARM development was really scary because what Simon already shared, it was like a black, like we're not, it's a gray area, not sure how things might work out. And I think the team did a really great job to actually meet deadlines that we had set for ourselves to actually get the ARM version ready. But then when we got to this like first prototype version where you do this like pre-EMI test, and that's kind of like to, before you go for FCC and CE licensing, you kind of look at what are the electromagnetic interferences from the keyboard, which is very dependent on RGB and how fast it scans and how much power goes through the keyboard, etc. It failed. And that was a bit shocking because we thought, we just basically replaced the MCU and we didn't do much else. Why would it fill the...
What's different?
Yeah. And I have to be honest, and it's not noted here, I don't remember what the culprit was.
The text above there is the solution as well. It was to a change in settings. Because they used a different profile or something to test.
Right, okay, I see. So, okay, yeah.
It's a funny mistake.
Okay, so I see. The pre-EMI test, so the pre-EMI test then failed, not because we really needed to change anything or the hardware changed in any way. It's just that when you do these kind of EMI tests, there's like you prepare the keyboard in its default mode, and then it's tested on its default mode, but it was not tested on its default mode. That's basically what it comes down to. And I'm not sure what firmware version they were using. It could have been a version where we're maybe testing something, or a version where we loaded different stuff on it, but that was not correct, and that made the test fail. So that test was done again, and then it passed, which is a huge relief, because otherwise you need to make a bunch of hardware changes, and hardware changes are the suckiest, or we'd have to make
right
firmware
last
changes.
Mile too. Oof.
Sorry?
Right at the last stretch
yeah,
too,
exactly.
with the ARM stuff, yeah.
Because if we're not able to, if this fails, then we can't do any production. Everything stops. But that thankfully went well. And in the meanwhile, while this was happening for the ARM keyboards, we were actually starting to deliver the AVR keyboards.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah, that was.
I tried to clap.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that, delivering not just to customers but also to a couple of the big reviewers, and seeing those the reviews that they posted. There's several of them that were really quite impactful. Bad Seat Tech was one. Optimum Tech was another one, and they had such glowing things to say about our product.
Yeah,
which is. These are not. We didn't pay them to run these reviews or anything like that. They did so. We provided them the keyboards, of course, but for them to not have any substantial negatives when they're otherwise very critical about the products that they review, that spoke a lot about the quality of what was built here, and that led to some really explosive sales on the first couple big reviews that came out. That was thrilling.
Yeah, I think in short, we were already expecting that once we do the deliveries, people are going to realize that this is now in their hands, a real game-changing keyboard.
Yeah.
But then I think it was the Bad Seat Tech video to come out that well, like he was really praising the keyboard, and that's very rare for him to do. And he really, really nailed everything about the keyboard. He explained it so well.
Yeah.
I could have not thought of it in any better way to be explained. And I think that really led to a connection moment for a lot of people. Okay, I understand.
So Warpig 400 just said Optimum Tech convinced me to buy it. For those of you guys who are watching the stream right now, if you watched a review and that was the one that you said, man, this convinced me to buy it. Share that on the stream in the chat here. We'd love to see that, just to see, you know, who do you guys watch and value and trust?
Yeah. Oh, because it actually was when the Optimum Tech video came out. So first we already had the sales increasing because of the Batsy Tech video, but then Optimum Tech video came out, and it just like, it was like, okay, we're now dealing with like next level, and we need to really ramp up all the production plans. And then the big question was like, how long is this going to last? You know, and we're still in this like ARM development, like, oh my God.
Is it a spike and then it fades away into obscurity and it's just, you know, some niche product that people will forget 6 months from now? Or is this going to stay? Is this going to maintain? Are we going to build on that momentum? And that's a big question.
Yeah, and no idea if we can actually meet demand, because the whole ARM development wasn't complete yet. So that was a very, very nervous time. But I think over the months, what we found out is first that it was sustainable. It was not just some kind of hype or there's another word for it that's even shorter, but let's say hype. Sorry? Trend. Yeah, no, trend is a little bit longer than hype. But then buzz, yeah, I guess. So it sustained itself, and we've been now, I think, just a review requests went out shortly, like last week or something. And we're getting so many reviews in right now, because those are the reviews from like the majority of the majority shipments, right? And holy shit!
So most of the team on Wooting reads every single review that gets posted, and
only the good ones.
Well, we read them all, and it's kind of been tough to keep up with all the reviews that came through. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of Optimum Tech, a lot of Batsy Tech. Also saw House Gaming was in there as well.
House Gaming also did a really good job, especially showing the effective rapid trigger. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also got Mr. Eck. That's one of the OS players, I think. He's the top, I think, right? One of the top couple.
Yes.
Apparently his impression of it led this individual also to want to purchase.
Oh, right. I think the whole top 10, the OS top 10.
I thought there was one that took like an ethical stance of, because
Maybe.
it's on pre-order, I'm gonna not use it because want to show that people don't need it. I remember that.
But he's not in the top 10 though.
not anymore. He doesn't use it.
Like top 10, it's very easy. I want to get number 1. I'm so close. Well, fuck the ethical stance. No, I mean, I'm just joking a bit, but that's from what I know. Right. So in this period, with this happening, and then we got through with the ARM development. Let's see, the end of August was the very first ARM 68G production that finished, and that really gave the green light. Okay, we can go crazy, and we had already planned beforehand to prepare enough IC parts. Meaning the electronic parts on the PCB, so we could ramp up production around this time. But the demand we were getting was like exceeding this preparation by far. So we had to prepare even more IC parts, which we did. But at the same time, we're like placing like an increasing amount of orders with the manufacturer. And it was like
poor manufacturers. Like, wait, you want this many? And wait, you want more? You want more? You want to double that again? More?
Yeah, that was basically how it went. Yeah, it was like, I don't understand it
Here's
myself.
Another purchase order. Let's go.
Yeah. And there was like a whole lot of planning to make sure that we could just do a huge production in one time. And the August one was like the small one, but the next one, I forgot when the date was exactly.
28th of October.
Was that it?
Yeah, that was the ready date.
Okay.
It's the original ready date that we eventually got to. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was like a really, really big batch, and we've been ramping that up over time, also preparing more IC parts, making sure we can produce as soon as we can, and that was like one of the new challenges. But I think, at least from my perspective, that everything considering, we have it pretty much under control, which is really nice. Also, when it comes to we have like productions that happen in the future, and we try to do our best to make you very aware of when that might be and when to expect it, and that it is happening in the future.
Yeah, so in chat right now is a perfect question. Is the estimated delivery time on the website accurate? Well, yes, asterisks. It's the best estimate to our knowledge based off of everything from production cycles, manufacturing, to the freight shipments, to the logistics time at the warehouse, and then it even factors in your specific last mile shipping method, the expected time that will take. So yes, it is accurate, but there's always something that can cause hiccups in the timeline, and I think we've experienced just about everything that could possibly cause something to slow down.
For sure. Yeah,
it seems like there's always something, but we've definitely improved the accuracy of those estimates, and then also gotten a little bit, added a little bit more fluff inside those estimates. That there's some wiggle room, and that resulted here, and we're skipping ahead till the end of the year already, but this most recent batch of shipments at least for the EU gang, North America was a little bit slower, but they got their keyboards 2.5, 3 weeks ahead of when their estimates.
Right now, right? Yeah, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, first.
Yeah, that is.
Everything.
I think it's also because we were like, this is like a Christmas period, holidays. Let's just assume that it's a dead period.
That it's just not gonna get there in time. Something somewhere in some chain of custody is gonna slow it down, but got lucky.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why a lot of people are also receiving their keyboard earlier, and some people have not received it because of Deutsche Post, for example, or just it taking longer to arrive because of this period. Also, it being like hectic. If we've seen the World Post strikes, for example, where everything's like piling up. Yeah. Okay. Then this time we actually also started, so that was a lot of trying to also improve the information we can provide everybody in the back end, and when it came to estimates, and I assume the new store and stuff is going to be part of the next section, where we're also very, very focused on how, with all this stuff that we have planned, how can we provide more information to the customer, also not only after placing the order, also before placing the order, etc.
Especially with import taxes and whatnot. That's definitely been a point that we've heard from a lot of customers. Like, hey, I bought this and I am surprised that I now have to pay more at import than I paid to you at the store. And that, we could definitely understand that that's a surprising thing for somebody to be asked to, fork over 35, 40 pounds or however many in Canadian dollars, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that communication's been improved by the new store.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then we also, at this time started to scale the operation, it says here, but it just basically means that we were starting to more actively think about how we're going to scale everything up, because it's very clear that we're going to be working on a different level than before. We're going to need more people to support this. I think, I assume Sander also kind of covered this part, but then Sander has started working full-time in this period, right?
My part, but not the rest. So not with Anders and the whole other bunch of people who can join in. So that was not expected when I.
No, so when Sander joined and as he started to convert to full time, we were not expecting to be growing like this also. But then he started working full time, and then because of the growth, we started to get Anders, right? And
Tony and Rohan and
right. So we were also did we hire them? We hired them in November in Taiwan, I think. But then we were also starting to look actively for more people in Taiwan. So another industrial designer and the project manager, because project management before was also kind of a lot of it was Kevin at that point, and it was I was doing partially of it, but then it was just mostly Kevin. And we've finally now had to shift it to somebody dedicated to it, and then for the industrial designer to have somebody else that can also work at a project at the same time. Because there was more stuff that we want to do, and now we finally have the resource to do it.
There's some really cool things coming in the pipipeline.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be covering. I'm not even sure.
I'm not going to say a word on it.
I'm not going to say a word. I'll be sharing that at the end. All right.
So stay tuned. You might get some secrets.
I think we've. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're shifting towards the next section. I think we covered the 20 minutes here of this section. So.
We took all of the next section's time too.
No, because we started like No.
That's fine.
All right.
All right.
All right, so-
let's go around, not under.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the last part of the year.
Oh yeah.
Where are we gonna
Still
move?
Simon is.
Okay, we're still preparing.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's go swap up. Hey, thank you.
Swapping.
Right.
Final words.
Thank you.
Oh wait, you actually gonna be next one? No. Okay.
No.
Final words, Anders.
Anders, thanks for joining.
Anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Whoa, Simon.
Whoa!
Hey.
Damn.
Hey,
I'm
Wooting,
back,
how's it
boys.
going up there?
Hey, Erik. Hey, Erik, I got something for you here.
Yeah, I've also got something.
Wow, you're so big now.
Ah, are you jealous? That's too funny.
Laugh, I can't.
Yes.
Can't laugh.
Good. Okay, so now we
So,
reached
what's going
that,
on, Chad? We're back.
Back. What have you been up to?
Trying to beat the quiz, but it was more difficult than I thought.
Yeah. Where did you end up?
No, I actually didn't enjoy it.
No, you didn't enjoy it. No. Okay.
We just helped out Mark
I
to
was
get the
too busy
blanket,
doing
but then he ended up in the 4th place and not in the 3rd.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, Tony was supposed to be here where I'm now, but sadly he got hit with COVID, and I hope he's feeling better already.
Simon's looking sharp.
Simon's looking very sharp.
Yeah, somebody said
Yeah.
Simon got a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
At
got
least
a
somebody
fresh,
noticed it.
fresh trim.
Simon
Yeah.
on fleek.
It's very good.
Sleek. That's the virtual Chad right there.
It's a real Irish look. I like it.
Real
There was
Irish
a lot of
look.
beard hair in the toilet yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I think we can actually bridge it where Calder and Mark and Anders ended it. With we were just at this point, all this craze going on and the big pressure going on with the Wooting, and we had to scale up operations, which also meant that we had to quickly look for new people. And I think Calder introduced them already, right?
I guess so. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
I'm looking at the director, but the director's also a bit distracted.
Yeah.
But besides,
Colin did mention
hope-
the names at least.
So I think for hiring new people, right, a lot of it came down actually in the end on Jeroen.
Yeah.
Because Jeroen arranged all the interviews and had conversations with these people, and
Yeah, because I think like the first round of hire we focused on finding more software developers,
Mhm.
and then specifically we were looking for like one full-time developer and one or two interns. That's what we're kind of looking for.
Yeah.
And then we were also looking for a project manager and industrial designer in Taiwan. And I think when we first started, we kind of like merged those two roles into one role.
Yeah.
And then later we split them into two roles because it turned out to be too much responsibility for one person. And I think especially when we started hiring, it was quite difficult to kind of see like where can we find people, especially for the Taiwan position. But
it was
then-
also new for us, right? Because we never
Yeah.
actually hired somebody on this way. It was normally people just came floating to us. We were
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
want to work?
yeah, just like Simon, where it's
Yeah.
like at one point, can I do internship? And we were like, yeah, sure.
Do it.
Literally messaged you in Discord. I was like, internship? Let's do it.
Yeah,
Free?
yeah.
Free?
Free labor? Okay.
Okay.
no, but then, so I think we made the positions for software, and then we sent out like a big email, and we got a lot of responses. I think we must have gotten like 50 applicants in total or something like that.
I think for only the software we had 50 applicants.
Yeah, it was a lot. And we actually did a few rounds of interviews, which was very tiring. I remember. Yeah.
Especially for you and
Yeah,
Simon.
because I was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'll
you were
just do like
deleted.
3 rounds. Because we also don't really know. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do introduction round with people. And my thinking was, okay, if I just do all of them in one, or like if I tried to just plan as many of them in 2 days, then I could just get it over with. But then what I didn't realize is that every single talk is extremely exhausting. And that's just because like you try to like, of course, like pay attention to the conversation, but it's also like kind of talking with a new person, but then also trying to kind of think about, okay, what can I kind of ask to kind of get more insight into if this person will be a good fit, what are their skills like. So, and then after the conversation, you also kind of need to think, and then you also need to think a lot about like, okay, was this a good fit? Can we kind of like see this person like fitting within the team and that kind of stuff. And that was not good. That was a bad idea. So that was like big lesson learned is don't do more than 1 or 2 at a day, and also don't do it alone. That was also a bad idea. Yeah, because even if you have that other person, like you don't really need that person to carry on the conversation, but more like when it comes to building up to a conversation and preparing, and then afterwards like being able to talk with another person about it, like what did you think about that?
Being able to process what you
also like
discussed.
Sort of analyzing the whole conversation, right? You had about
Yeah,
what happened as
yeah.
a sort of third person there. So, yeah. And in the end, who won?
Who won?
Tony.
Tony!
The
But
big
Tony's not
winner.
here.
No, Tony's in chat. It's Big Brain
Yeah.
AFK. Sadly, Tony has COVID, so
Yeah.
he's at home recovering. And
Yeah. But he is in the chat, right? Oh
yeah, he was the one who mentioned Simon's haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon, what do you think about doing the interviews? Because you also joined in like 1 or 2 rounds, right?
Yeah, I think it was just the final round for the software
Yeah.
dev one that I joined, and that was weird. At least just because I wasn't. It was kind of very unusual for me to even be in that position where I'm interviewing people. I feel it was. I'm like, this was unexpected to ever get this anytime soon. But I mean, it was all right. Like it was nice. At least it was fun talking to people.
Yeah.
But then it's also like the pressure of like, oh, you kind of got to choose someone and then let the other people down.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, like, and it's a little bit disappointing because it's like, oh, you want to hire everyone, but you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was for you guys, but for me, I also went through the big list, and I heard Jeroen talk to some, got some feedback with people Jeroen talked with, and for me, I already started making favorites early on.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that's really dangerous, and also I think in the end we made the right decision, right?
I think so.
I tried to be objectively, but it's something you need to be constantly in your head. Okay, be objective. Like on paper it sounds very good, but is this a good fit, and how does he or she code in the end? And it's
But then I think on the other hand, like when you kind of have those talks, I think you get a pretty clear picture of you can get a pretty clear picture of somebody quite quickly. Yeah.
And another good thing besides hiring somebody new for actual backend development, we hired 2 interns as well.
Oh yeah. So we had.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
So we've had the past 3 months in total, we've had the 2 interns working, Kang and David. And is it already publicly known what they have been working on?
I don't know. It's gonna be
live stream announcement.
Hey.
So they've been working
big
on
announcement.
They've been working on a macro app. So it's like our official app to support macros. We're not going to talk about it now.
No.
But we will sort of like officially release more about it on Discord probably next week. So Wooting macro app next week. Discord announcement.
Made by Kang in Canada and David in Czech Republic.
Yeah. And very, very happy with them because we, I think initially I was thinking about just doing 1 intern or 2, I don't remember exactly. But then I talked with these 2 individually, and what's very nice is that they're both very, very smart, very ambitious, very hardworking. And I felt like also both of them, they had a Wooting keyboard. They were already very familiar with what we were doing. And what I also think is really cool is that they also complement each other very well, both from a technical side where it's like, okay, one is back end, one is front end, but also from a personal side where it's like, okay, the other person is a bit more disorganized, the other person is a bit more organized. And I think like I feel like it's kind of a risk when you kind of connect these 2 interns together, because what can be really bad, especially with somebody that is quite ambitious, is that one person just runs off and the other person just gets completely lost. And I feel like that cooperation worked out quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always run the risk of the classic university group project where it's all in one person or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
The balance I felt was really good.
Yeah. I was also very happy with that. Yeah,
it's pretty good, pretty cool. And another big thing that happened during that period, at least that for me, I still think it's very cool. A lot more pro players started using our keyboards, right? Because I think we were delivering a lot of AVR keyboards back then, but also starting delivering ARM keyboards around that time, right?
Yeah.
And then you could see like these pro. I think it started a lot with Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Zaiwu.
Yeah, Zaiwu.
Yeah,
Zaiwu started using it.
Using the keyboard. Yeah.
Won ESL Pro League with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I think Simon also shared it internally where he was watching it, and then he shared a screenshot of like the Steam using a 6HE where you could see the strap there. I was like, oh, using the strap. We were like, oh, epic. Now with Team of Vitality. We love them. They're the best. And and I think it happened with more games. Valorant as well, right?
Yeah, you have EA is using it.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting like the players that are considered the best in the world for.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, we'll use it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And so that's
crazy.
something of course we feel pride and ownership in when end users get the keyboard, right, like normal people who support this project, but seeing a pro player getting the most out of your keyboard, that's something something else.
And also like I think like most of them they bought the keyboards on their own initiative, or they got it from us like through kind of reaching out to us. And because very often what happens with pro players is that especially if a team uses a particular brand, that's just sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
There's no like decision there where it's like, okay, I'm going to use this because this is the best. But then in our case, we're very lucky that these players, they actually use the 6HE because they think that is the best keyboard for them to use, which is like one of the biggest compliments we can get.
And talking about gaming, we also discontinued our favorite double movement app, which is a good thing because it's out to get.
Sounds like a quiz question.
Sounds like a quiz question. Write it down for next year. Yeah, I think it's
a bit late for the quiz.
Yeah.
Finally, Epic Games implemented a similar system into their own game.
Yeah.
So now it's fair for everybody. Nobody gets an unfair advantage with a keyboard or a piece of software. And then all keyboards got banned in tournaments.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's like, fuck Wooting.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
I think one thing about the pro players I just want to highlight, which is that, especially I remember we talked a lot with Simon about this, where Simon about how like it's pretty crazy that like somebody you've been following like in a pro scene for so long, all of a sudden is like using the keyboard that you build software for.
Yeah, it was very wild, especially because like at least the CS pro scene is the one that I had been following for like a few years before, and then just seeing like, oh, okay, there's like a couple players starting to use it, and it's pretty sick. Just like I'm watching the matches already, and it's like seeing it pop up, and it's like that is it's kind of crazy, especially when it's like at like a major tournament where it's like in front of like hundreds of thousands of people. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Does it make you nervous that any kind of bugs will pop up or something? Or
don't break.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm just like, oh no, the keyboard's gonna like freak out in the middle of the game, and then it's gonna be a whole thing. It's kind of scary at times, but then it's like it's pretty fun.
It's fine.
But then talking about people who use the keyboard to its absolute limits is the next topic.
That's definitely the next topic. It's eternally we called Os. Sander calls it Osu. Osu. So a lot of you guys know, according to the quiz question, a lot of you guys probably know Osu. Cool rhythm game, and this is something that really blew my mind, right? They're like players breaking records in a game that have been standing for years, but not just beating it marginal, 20% more.
It's like crazy.
Insane PP scores and personal PP scores, which are
big PP.
Big PP going through the roof.
Big PP.
And this shows it that the impact of rapid trigger.
Yeah.
And this is something, people who were like not even touching the top 1,000 are now in the top hundreds just because of the keyboard, because they have a better pace. And
it's pretty wild, especially because for a while we already had like an inkling that rapid trigger was going to be really good for us. But then it suddenly exploded, and then everyone was talking about it.
Yeah,
and also I think it's on our Discord, us people have their own channel, and the thing is, it's always with breaking into new communities, right? Like, or gaming communities, and I think Fortnite was also a good example. Where a lot of, let's say, kids getting on Discord, asking like notorious questions constantly, annoying everybody because something wasn't working, and they just wanted a solution, and then they would.
The big Fortnite invasion of 2021.
Big Fortnite invasion. And then if you look at a community like us, for example, these are such a wholesome people, like having a channel, sharing stuff, helping each other, but also people who have a 6HE just in Discord streaming what they're doing with the 6HE.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's so
Oh yeah,
cool.
that's been really cool to see.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's also something maybe next year we break it to a whole different game.
Yeah,
and
it's such a
see
more
what-
like connected, smaller community.
Yeah.
It's like even there's like a shop in my hometown that is like sort of rhythm game focused, like an actual like physical store. And we've also been there. I actually brought him a keyboard, and they actually have like meetups like every weekend, and people just come by and they come play your games together, and like it's really very community focused game.
Yeah, even though it's a very competitive scene, people help each other achieve greatness. I think that's something. Like I mentioned, I think it's pretty wholesome.
Very cool.
I think that's enough for gaming. I think the Simon's favorite stepchild, the big Wooting store, the big improvements.
The Wooting store.
You mean my least favorite stepchild?
Least favorite stepchild. Well, actually, a lot of
Well,
kudos
it was
also
nice
go
to start
to.
and it fell apart.
A lot of kudos also go to Daryl.
Yeah,
He has been
definitely.
working on the hub the last couple of months, and also a lot on the store.
Yeah, he basically did pretty much all the groundwork for this whole new store experience that we launched. That's what he did. Yeah. It actually started as like us trying to do like adding stuff to your order, or no, what was it again? Oh yeah, adding stuff to your order through the hub. Like we already have this sort of order upgrade system, and we tried to improve that. And then in the meantime, we figured out a lot of stuff with like Shopify, which is the shopping platform that we use. And then we're like, okay, wait a second, we can actually just use this as a base for a new store website. And then we kind of pivoted into that, and that became the sort of the thing.
Yeah, and for me personally, I love this project because it was something we had envisioned for
love
such
is a big word, but
no, well, at least I loved it because we had for a long time we had this vision how we could improve the store and bring all these websites together, right? And also
that's true. Yeah.
bring more correct and coherent information to the end user.
That
so
is
now,
true. Yeah.
if you start the order process of a keyboard, you can choose and tweak it how you like it and see like, okay, this is the date when it arrives at the warehouse.
Yeah.
This is the date when we will ship it to you and when you can expect it.
Yeah.
And that's something that was lacking beforehand. And Daryl made a very good start for the groundwork, and then it was mostly Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, help!
Yeah, a lot of grinding it to the finish.
Yeah.
Simon
I was
so
starting to
seriously
lose my
froze,
mind towards the end.
Oh, he's back.
he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something, and I think it was a big success, this store, right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still working.
It's been, yeah, exactly. It's been running on the background, and we haven't really noticed any big like
Nothing too critical.
Like it's very hard to kind of like really tell like, okay, if the sales are different pre versus post launch. But then there hasn't seemed to be like anything significant to kind of say like, okay, this is totally screwed it up or something.
I mean, we still have to put some dots on the i's, but overall it's pretty. It's pretty
for
good.
sure. Yeah,
There are some bugs here and there.
Yeah, there's and some awkward things, here and there. But overall, it's very smooth. I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is also the time where, besides us hiring new people like Tony, Rohan, Vanessa, it's also sad because Daryl left.
Yeah, Daryl had to leave. Yeah. And also towards the end of the year, we kind of said that the store project is kind of like the last project for him to focus on. So we kind of have had him on like a sort of a part-time base for a long time. Yeah. But then the more and more that continued, the more I realized that it's kind of hard to so with everybody mostly work full-time, especially for software development, because there's so much like communication required, and the time it took every week to kind of like get going, and that for only like 2 days a week, that wasn't really working out that well in the end.
You had to sacrifice your Saturday.
yeah, exactly. That was also like I don't mind doing a bit on Saturday, but then it was also getting a bit much for me. Yeah.
That's also nice for Daryl. Now he can focus. Now he has a nice focus on his study and college and.
Yeah. And we had a big golf with friends farewell party, so that was
big golf with friends farewell party. This is also something we started doing this
full
year.
lobby.
So sometimes on Friday in the morning we do golf with your friends, with friends, and it's always funny.
Yeah.
Except for the shape shifting, that's horrible.
Yeah.
We did.
Except for the squares.
Except for the squares, the infinite squares.
Or the acorns.
Simon is one of the best golfers.
Simon's definitely best golfer.
He's the golf
Yeah, well, it's either I do well and I keep doing well, or I fall apart at the start and then I just try and mess everyone else over.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Usually I just tilt halfway and then it's just complete downhill from there.
Maybe somebody should get the CEO. Somebody should get the CEO. I think.
CEO.
Find him. Good luck.
Find him.
And I think sort of to end this this whole yearly recap. Finally, I think Kevin and Calder mentioned earlier, we launched the double shot PBT keycaps.
Yeah.
They were already installed on the ANSI version of the. Here's the white version, the white variant. Pretty nice. This is the white variant. It's also a black variant.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. You can now get them in multiple languages. I think United States, UK, Germany, and Nordics. So it's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
pretty sick. Also to get like great quality keycaps with great legends
That's not
in
it.
different languages. That is
Yeah,
like,
definitely no mistakes.
Sort of it. Sorry.
Definitely no mistakes.
And no mistakes.
No mistakes. Perfect.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect first time.
Perfect.
First time, every
First
time.
time.
Yeah, we're very happy to finally be able to support more EU languages.
Yeah, and
It's kind of like our home base, you know. Like we need to be able to support it properly.
and I
Yeah,
think
I'm still
it's,
waiting on my ISO UK sample.
Yeah, I hope you get it with no mistakes.
Yeah.
No, but the last year, what a roller coaster, right?
Yeah,
The
it's been
6HE launch, new chip, sick reviews,
Yeah.
sick sales.
Yeah, also kind of going through the whole overview and like kind of hearing all the stories again. It just because I think like the more crazier stuff happens, I feel like the more difficult it's kind of like to look back. Because to me it just kind of feels like, oh, there's this 6HC launch. Like to me, looking back, the year for me feels like this. There was a 6HC launch, everything went crazy, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
And there's this sort of like there's this sort of post period, and then I can pick up some things here and there. But definitely everything before that, I completely like that completely got pushed out of my brain.
Yeah, but also the
Just
last couple of
blocked
months, the scaling of everything, of operations,
Yeah.
production, and expanding the team, and more software stuff, and everything at the same time, you sort of forget what the little details are, and I think it's, I think it's fun to go through all of this.
100%.
Yeah. Hey Simon, it's time for you to go.
Hello.
We'll let you go. We will let you slide into 2023 slowly.
Yeah. I'll roll with all the food in my belly.
Yes. Thanks for. We'll catch up on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure next week.
Yeah.
Thanks Simon for attending, and now it's time for the grand final of our beloved.
Whoa, don't hype it up.
The grand finale with Calder.
Is he gonna crawl? Is he gonna walk? What is he gonna do?
You need to go first, then we can transition.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's awkward.
The
It's an empty screen.
The grand finale with Calder.
Rotate in.
The big leader.
To the back.
Take it away, Calder.
Thanks,
Take it away.
Simon.
Is this tool for me?
Bye.
Did you update this one?
What?
Yeah, I wrote.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, but the macro app was done, so.
Yes, we're
Oh,
gonna
we
go to the
spoiled that
last scene out.
We spoiled that one.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Simon.
Okay. Whoa, am I in center view?
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, nervous. Sweaty hands, it's beginning.
Sweaty hands.
Uh-oh, I should have listened what was said. No, okay. I mean, we're getting at the end of the year live stream. Before I go into the gaze in the future is what it's titled, which is basically me just rambling on what we're planning to do for 2023. I really hope that everybody enjoyed the live stream and kind of enjoyed listening to us sharing about this last year. I hope there is some details in there that you might have not known or find interesting to hear about. I find what I really like with the end of the year live stream, and what I really want also is that for everybody to kind of get more insight in the whole process behind Wooting and things that happen, and things that you would have not thought of. And I hope also there's a bit more of a personal note of every member of the team that can share a bit more about their experience going through that period. And in that way, we can make Wooting a bit more alive, I want to call it that way, because and then yes, we're Wooting is a brand, it's a company, but it's still a lot of people behind Wooting, and we all work very hard to do what we do, and we do it with a lot of enjoyment. And I want to make sure that we can communicate that also with everybody that's getting a Wooting product or is just following us in whatever channel, but doesn't have a Wooting product, doesn't matter, and you can just genuinely enjoy the things that we're doing, or follow the stories that we're sharing, or the videos that we release, even though it's all centered around Wooting and our products and the things that we do. I do hope it's enjoyable. All right, I see the chat. Thank you guys for enjoying it. That's the feedback I'm getting, at least. So now comes kind of the part where I need to share about what we're planning to do for 2023. And I was thinking really long yesterday about, what can and can I not share. And I ended up going for a bit of a more Wooting as a business perspective instead of, hyping up end consumer stuff. I thought that would be a bit more interesting going into 2023. Instead of going towards the product stuff, because the product stuff, a lot of the product stuff, we just can't reveal anything or share too much about it. I will give some subtle hints, but I'm not going to confirm anything towards what we're doing or going to do in 2023. So you at least have some kind of idea of what direction we're taking. The reason for not confirming anything is just because what we experience usually is that if we give too specific information too early on, people will set expectations that it's going to be available next month or the month after. And the reality is that all these developments just take time, and we just don't know what's going to happen next. And we don't want to have the same situation where once we've announced something, there's a timeline and we need to explain why it's taking longer. And things can take very long, suddenly, just like Wooting pads. And then maybe even die in the process and not even come to market. So that's why I don't want to make any kind of official announcement. I'm going to definitely hint towards what we're doing. So I guess first of all, I want to start with that I'm receiving a lot of signs that just the general state of the world is that we're heading towards a recession. I'm hearing a lot in the background from suppliers that they're producing at their all-times low. So that means there's very little new orders coming in from customers from these suppliers. Getting news about logistics, where a lot of the sea freight, air freight volume is going down a lot. So there's literally boats that are skipping ports now because there's just not enough freight to make it worth it. And there's all these developments are just indicating that we're heading towards recession time. So expectations are also that spending is going to go down, and that there's going to be a lot more concentration towards things that are valuable, meaning a couple of things for us. So first of all, we're not with our sales and with how the response on the product, everything, we're not personally experiencing it this way, thankfully, and we're in a very lucky position right now where we have a product that is successful, which is helping us build up all the resources that we need, and that even in a recession time that we can still invest in new things and grow the team. So we're in a very lucky position, but at the same time we have to stay sharp and not overextend ourselves into things like multiple color variations, a little branch of a niche of a product that might be interesting, another variation of a variation. These are all kind of things that we're going to try to avoid going in 2023, because we don't want to build up a bunch of stock or build up unnecessary products while the trend is towards a lower demand. What we're going to do instead is just focus as much as we can onto, first of all, get the 60HE on stock, available out of stock, have plenty of stock so it doesn't get out of stock all the time, and that from order to delivery period is shorter and shorter. We're very well ahead we're going the right way with this plan. But that's going to be on the top of the list, and that means that we're not going to make a white or pink or a brown version of the 60HE, because first of all, make sure that black one is in stock and available. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be playing around with the 6HE, because we've definitely been hearing the feedback from the start about what you would like to see in the 6HE, and we've seen this huge community growing on Discord for modifying or modding the 6HE when it comes to putting in like a aluminum case, or like different way of foaming it maybe, or all the lubricating and that kind of stuff. And we hear that voice, we hear that demand. We also see how many people are actually swapping it out for a different case than the stock case. And all I can say is that we've taken that into consideration. We're actually developing something to better accommodate that type of demand. And I think we have something really cool in the works. It's been hiding secretly in the stream somewhere at some point without you knowing. So that is something that you can expect. But then, let me see. So that means having things in stock. But also scaling our operation. So we've already been doing lots of hiring in the last quarter. We're going to be a little bit conservative with hiring in 2023, looking very closely at how we're growing and how much of the sales are going to be sustained or not, and if we should be growing that team much bigger or not. But we will be trying to add as much as high value people as we can. And high value people means that people that can either shorten the timeline of development and or add a lot of knowledge to the company as a whole, make better products. And obviously we're going to do our best to make sure that on the customer support level we can support it in the way that we want to support it, and that everybody is well taken care of when they own a Wooting product, not just the moment that you order it, also the moment you own it and the years to come. And that's a big part of scaling it up. Now, so I just gave a subtle hint already just now about one of the products. So there's this other product that we're going to release into, well, there's, oh my gosh. Okay, I can say there's 2 more products in 2023. I can say that we're going to release. One of them is another request and demand that we've been hearing for quite a while, and we already know we need to do this. We've been already developing this for a while, and the project itself is now really taking shape. But I don't think you're going to hear about it until maybe half a year from now. And what we're trying to do is, when we release it, to get the delivery point as close as we come to the release. So maybe that there's a 3-month gap only, for example. We try to get it as close as possible, but we would still want to release that in a campaign style because it's the most fun. It's the most fun because there's a lot more to enjoy together. There's a lot more inclusion with the community. And we can do cool stuff like we did with the 6HE on the PCBA. We have all these icons for the signature edition. We have all the names on the box, for example. And that is like permanent with the product, and it really signifies like we try to involve everybody of the community also in our product. So that was one of the subtle hints. This is going to be a little bit less subtle. The other product we're working on is one that it's a product we've worked on multiple years back. It's a very small device. At that time when we worked on it, it had a bit more keys than what we're doing now. We had to put that product at that time into the freezer because we felt there would not be enough demand for it, and the price would be too high for the target group. But we've actually now come back to it. We've come back to it and decided that now we are going to bring it to market. And our new industrial designer has been actually working on this project. And that's also one of the reasons why we wanted to be really fast with hiring a new industrial designer, because we needed somebody to dedicate on this. And we officially now, in a way, not kicked off, but launched the development, and it's going to go very quick. What else can I say about it? It's going to go very quick, and it's also going to launch in 2023. And it's a demand from a very niche market. I think that's a lot of hints. Anybody that is interested in this, right, should know by now.
Nobody knows. Moving on.
not confirming anything, okay? You're going to hear about this as soon as we can. It's not something we want to keep a secret for a very long time. And we also really want to involve you guys in part of the sprint of this product. And it's something that will go relatively fast. So that's going to be exciting. All right. Let me see. I think I'm going to close this. Right, so in 2000, I covered this a bit earlier in the live stream. You can expect us to be doing a wootup again in 2023, like every year, but this time we're going to try to do it, I don't want to say necessarily bigger than before, but more different than before, because we're going to try to combine physical wootup meeting with digital. So we're going to have a combination of the two. We're going to find out how it's going to be. I'm just looking at Erik and Sander because it's going to be quite a task. But if you don't know what the wootup is, basically the wootup is one event where we bring the whole community together to play like certain tournaments and games and have a laugh together. There's also prizes for the tournaments, and I'm not sure yet what we're going to do this year. There was some coverage of the wootup of this year. Meaning 2022. So in 2023, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but it's going to be a similar trend of where we bring everybody together and just have a fun time. So I definitely stick around to join that wootup. And usually it's in the middle of the year, somewhere around summertime. But I see shaking no, so it's going to be somewhere.
Last year was in February.
Well, yeah.
Before as well.
Oh no! Is it going to be? Oh my God! Is it going to be that fast? Okay, it's going to be sooner than I expected. Right, I will take a couple of questions here related to... No? Okay, I'm not allowed to take a couple of questions.
PM Discord, call on Discord. Yeah.
Right, okay, then... I didn't share that we're going to have 2 new people also working starting January. So first we have David, who you will have heard about with the macro app. So he's going from internship now to a part-time gig first while he's finishing up his school. He'll be also helping develop the macro app a bit further, so it's not just launched and then forgotten. It's all actually supported. And then he will be also working a bit more assisting Simon on more utility firmware things side of the keyboards. And then we have another one, is Jasmine. She'll be working also part-time with us, and she'll be doing a lot of customer service backend side and supporting on design stuff from Erik. I'm just going to call it stuff because it's very wide and broad. Yeah, but it comes down to labels, packaging, illustrations, print, that kind of stuff. We are going to be looking for at least 2 more people, but then in Taiwan for 2023. We have actually a list of 4 type of roles, but we're going to review and see how far we're going to bring it. But there's at least 2 for sure. There's going to be a mechanical engineer and there's going to be an electronic engineer. So it will help us with the whole product development and make sure that we can be not only faster, but also better. And what I really like is every time we present the project to our partner manufacturer, we try to complete like as much as we can. So now maybe we're at like, I would like to say 90% of completion, and the manufacturer does like the last 10%. And I want to push that up further and further. And with these 2 additions, we can, especially with the mechanical engineer, we can push it to 95, if not 98%. And with the electrical engineer, we are able to do a lot more R&D and speed up the whole electronic development part. So there will be less reliance on one person to do a lot of this, which is usually Jeroen. Which is a big props to him to doing this also, because it is pretty tricky and very lengthy stuff to do. So in that way we can do better products and faster, and I hope that would complete. Hopefully that completes then the Wooting team for 2023. Maybe there will be more for customer support as we go. But obviously what I hope the most is that everybody that's been joining the Wooting community, everybody that's in this live stream, and all the, I'm just going to call customers that have now joined recently with their Wooting purchase, they stick around, you know, and they share about the keyboard, they share about Wooting, so that we can sustain what we're doing right now and keep doing it bigger, doing it better, and increasing the enjoy, giving a better experience, and just do what we do, but then do it better and bigger in everybody's benefit. So that is basically all that Wooting does, and we very much rely on you to spread the word, because we don't really do paid marketing at all. So we're very thankful also for everybody that shares about us and shares our excitement also, and is excited about what we do. So yeah. High energy. Yeah, I would clap much harder if I could, but I don't want to dislocate it again. I want to get everybody on the live stream. That's also part of it, right? Oh, am I missing? Oh my god. Oh my god. I went ahead of myself. I feel a bit ashamed. I went ahead of myself. I thought of it. I mentioned it in the beginning of the live stream already. There's another one big change that's happening. For the last 6 years, there's been one Discord moderator, and he's also been the moderator on Reddit. Some of you know him very well. Some of you have maybe not noticed because you're new. But Callum, known as Mr. Pleasant, has been with us for a bit over 6 years. He joined the first Kickstarter. He was part of the community from the start. He took the role of moderation for Discord and for Reddit. He's, in the meantime, built a lot of the Reddit structure, and been administrating, keeping tabs on Reddit. And he's also built a lot of the bots that were on Discord, the whole customer welcoming flow on Discord, the channels, and keeping an eye on everything. He spent significant amount of time on Wooting and being part of the community. He also spent a significant amount of time on the last Wootup that we had with the whole Minecraft tournament stuff. A lot of the building also came from him. And he's been a huge contributor and provided a huge amount of value to Wooting, to the community. And I think without him, we would have not gotten to the point where we are right now with the community, because he definitely spoke for the community for the longest time. But now, in this 6th year, he's decided to move on, not move away from the community, but move away from the responsibilities that he's taken over the years, and leave it over to others. He's still going to be part of the community, but more on a sideline, just like everybody else is part of the community. But he's going to step down from moderation role on Reddit, and he's going to step down from the moderation role on Discord, because he's looking forward to move on with his life and tackle on new things, which are really excited. We are really excited for him to do that also. And on a personal note, also knowing Callum over these 6 years, he has grown tremendously as a person, and I am very happy for him, and I really hope that he can find his own thing going forward. So I want to give a huge thanks to Callum, being the moderator and huge community member. I would clap harder again, but right. So I think, and I wish and hope that Callum is also going to leave a leaving message, like a farewell message on Discord, which is in the trend of wishing, like, end of the year message and a personal message of him. So that's going to be on Discord. So much, yes, love at Callum. So much love to Callum, and then the other hand here for the heart. Okay. Am I missing anything else? Then I think I should just give a general shout out to all the volunteers on Discord. You might have not noticed, or you might have noticed if you see Rocky or Bexon jump by on the support channel or on Discord in general, responding or giving you some kind of information. These guys have been around for also a very long time, and they're still doing a lot of volunteer work, helping everybody inside the community. Especially Rocky also has been a huge value, has provided huge value to us, not only on a community level, helping with technical support, but also giving us a lot of insight in, for example, gamepad and USB stuff. He's a very smart guy. He is very adamant in his work, and we still thoroughly enjoy him being part of it. And yeah, he's also still around. So I just want to give a huge thanks also to these volunteers. Oh, that's a package that came in. Okay, yay! Oh my my gosh, you know what? The list keeps adding because it's kind of like remembering like, oh shit, there's even more people. Okay. There's one more. Okay. But this one is going to be a bit bigger because so we also have who's also in the chat, CrossVS, also known as Darren or not Darren on Discord. Or he's
not Daryl.
yeah, not Daryl. Yeah, it's very confusing always. There's like a mix up with the two.
Different people. Can't believe you ever confused them.
I think now I don't know if he's CrossVS now also on Discord, but maybe. But in either case, he how do I describe it? He has always kind of been in the background, but he's been doing very critical work for us by reviewing all the software releases we make. So every time there's a new utility version or of the macro app or anything that we're testing a feature or something like that, he's the one that jumps into it, tests everything, breaks it down, and really spots the issues and helps us really basically foolproof and do a quality control on all the software work that we do. If he would not be around, holy shit, customer support would go bananas on issues, and we would be spending a significant amount more time on all these software issues than actually developing new features and new things. So also, before I say the huge thanks, and because of that reason, Darren or CrossVS or Darren is in 2023 also going to start more of a role within Wooting, but now more official than before. So that is also going to be a big part of it. So I want to give a huge thanks also to CrossVS. Yeah, I can hear my heart claps. Okay, nice. Okay, now we can have everybody on the stream, right?
No, just
Producer?
close it down. Just close it down.
Oh my god.
Bye everybody. See you in 2023. Yeah.
No, right? Really? Really? Oh my god.
It's done. It's over.
Why can't I have everybody on the stream to say about?
We are thirsty.
You still need to wait. Okay.
We still haven't eaten.
Okay.
Oh, please end it.
Okay. Okay, so the team is getting hungry. They need to be fed, and then they can go back to their slave job, back to the sweatshop, making keyboards for you guys. Okay, then I guess we can only do a last applaud for everybody that is now here at the live stream. Everybody that's got a Wooting keyboard, that's part of the community, enjoying this stuff, and I hope we're going to have a great 2023. We definitely had a great 2022. So thank you, everybody. And
Woo! Yay! Woo!
And then see you next year. Yeah. Turn it around. No, don't. Yeah, don't. I don't know if you should touch it. Yeah. Leave it. Yeah.
Okay.